Welcome back to Street Fighter League Pro Japan. We got ourselves week number 8 for Division S. This is going to be absolutely insane to see which teams are going to make it to the top 3 and which ones will fall by the wayside. My name is Vicious here with St. Cola, and we've got ourselves quite the banger of a set for all 3 matchups. We got Good A Squad versus Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto, CAT Osaka versus Victrix Fabu Gaming, and Nagoya NTPOJA versus Crazy Raccoon. Again, if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what to tell you. You got to go to a doctor or something, because these are going to be non-stop bangers without a doubt. Looking into it right now, again, all of these teams composed of such high-end players, really starting to put it all together, whether it's on their streams, getting their practice in, whether it's entertaining the fans at home as well. They've been making sure to lock in for the rest of the season.
Man, oh man, it's sick. Like, get a doc in here. Let's take a look at it real quick in terms of like the point differentials and the standings. Nagoya NTPOJA at the top spot, leading the charge over Good A Squad. It's for a good cause. 15 million yen. That's double the prize pool that we have seen previously. That's quite a bit of yen, quite a bit of dosh. I don't know what that is in burger bucks, but I do know it's quite a bit. But anyway, back to the points though. Nagoya NTPOJA at the top spot. Good A Squad right behind that because of the differential. Crazy Raccoon 180 points, and then Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto below the playoff line. CAG Osaka and Victrix Fabu Gaming, it's do or die time.
Right, I mean, with that many points left behind in comparison to the top 3, they need every single game that they could manage. And guess what? Every single one of these weeks, sponsored by the following. You see it right down below, right? These guys have been doing a phenomenal job of throwing it down every single season. But this one in particular, brought to you by Taiyo Holdings, Suzuki, Galeria, Punk Workshop, and Red Bull. And I'm glad to see Aru and Hamiko bring all the action as they get themselves ready. With the monk fruit, actually, the zero sugar monk fruit newest flavor, actually pretty much a banger too. I think it's totally appropriate to have that on the desk. But it's cool to see these two guys also throw it down. I did watch Aru kind of restream Division F's last bout. I saw Hamiko also trying to get his stream on and also practicing with C Viper. I saw a couple of his tech abusing that forward roundhouse. He's doing pretty good in tricking some people over in like the high master. Now I think he's grandmaster rank with C Viper. But either way you spin it, these guys definitely appropriate as we get towards winding down the season. Only 3 more weeks of regulation play, including this one. So St. Cola was right. We're getting really close to figuring out which one of these teams make it to the top 3.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, kind of sad to say actually, you know, that we're getting so close to like the playoff. There's been so much in terms of like great action, but once again, these players are gonna be well rewarded in terms of like the awards that we have and getting a little bit of extra yen, bring some drive impacts. Let me go down the entire list for all of y'all. If y'all didn't know, the Grand Final MVP will be awarded for 1 player from the Grand Finalist team, Division MVP from 1 player from each division, Rookie of the Year Award, Drive Gauge Efficiency Award, that's the person who spends the most during the matches, and of course our favorite, the Drive Impact Award, aka the UNC Award. We've been seeing quite a few people get hit with that just recently and get that return receipt. Shout out to Vispo as well, the ambassador program that we have with Capcom. Looks like they'll be actually streaming live on the 14th, actually streaming the entire episode live. They've been also doing a lot of work with the interviews with the winners, so you get to see a little bit more of the insights. It's hard for me to even talk to my son Lashar about what he's doing wrong and right. He'll just give me non-answers, but I'm sure he'll be giving good answers over there. So check it out if you're a native speaker, or if you can hit those closed captions, do that too as well.
Right, if you ever want to like take a look closer, or at least get the links towards any of the affiliations towards any of the organizations when it comes to like some of the players and what they're diving into, or even some of the ambassadors that we saw with Vispo, Capcom_esports is where you need to go for everything involved with the Japanese FTC for Street Fighter 6. And of course, we also do a fine job of trying to advertise as much as we can for Street Fighter League, both US and EU, over at Capcom Fighters for all of the English-speaking information that you would need going forward. But as it stands right now, Capcom_esports, they definitely have all of the information that you would need in regards to what's great in the land of Japan for Street Fighter 6, as you can see down below on your screen. And I gotta say, man, it's been a very important resource towards what to prepare for in regards to like how the commentators feel towards matchups. I know they have a little bit of a pre-show, a pretty significant one called Hamiko's Choice, that kind of goes over what possible matchups we could see in regards to like what teams are going to be facing off against what. So pretty important to note like what they kind of dive into and what they feel is going to be like proper in regards to like the potential characters, reasonings behind why, and also when it comes to like the player's current win record, there's definitely a lot of consideration coming in from Hameko and Aru in regards to like what's going to be happening with these orders. And it's kind of scary, right? We think about Good 8 Squad going up against Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto. We have the first place versus the 4th place seed, but things can still go haywire, right?
100%. And the fact that we've seen these two teams battle it out year after year, maybe with different players and things like that, this gets even worse for Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto, as you mentioned, below the playoff line to stay fine. Good 8 Squad in that top rung. We'll see who gets it done in this match. This run back, last time Good 8 Squad took it. See if they can take it again. Take a closer look at the team. The fearless Sahara winning online and offline, always staying fine with that edge, showing something different. Newly minted in the streets, but I'll tell you one thing, he is absolutely devious and wicked when it comes to combat. After that, it's a Cosmic Buster himself. It's Fugera. Whatever character he feels like playing, Sagat, Bison, whatever he got, it's gonna be fire. All right, it's a Singularity, the one that is always leading the charge when it comes to Goki. Sometimes Steve Viper, I think he's going back to the Akuma for today, but either way, Kawano is one of the best in the business, and all led by one of the most defensive minds in the business, the honest hero, but nothing honest about that level 2 Rashid coming through. It's Gachikun. Good 8 Squad is a Street Fighter League Japan winning team, a world champion winning team as well, and looking to do so again, but they're sitting in second because of the differential. However, this squad's got something devious today. We'll see what they bring against likes of Team Seoul.
I totally forgot to bring my hat for the Gachikun intro. I know I have it hanging on my door, but I wasn't going to go over there to grab it. Either way, the opposition today having the home field advantage, right? They get full access to counterplaying against the designated team on the away side. Good 8 Squad, better watch out. We got the Violence Emperor and the gang coming through for revenge. This is going to be a very, very tall order from the side of Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto. Let's take a closer look at what this team brings. We got the Unstoppable. That ain't Juggernaut. That's definitely Kobeon with the Zangief. One of my favorite players to watch as of late. My man got ice in his veins. It's the Iceman. Skating on through. It's Kosa. Hopefully he gets to rock that Ryu as well today. Then, of course, you got to shout it out to the tops. Just like Yap's Mr. Optimal. It's Machobo. Also backing it up with the Ryu. And, of course, we talked about all the violence in our intro. The Brutal Emperor, Nemo. Let's see what kind of plan he's got devised for this exact team. Now, we are going to get into the away order in just a bit. One of my biggest concerns is how they're going to face off against such a well-rounded team composition, right? You have the likes of Ed. You have the likes of Rashid, Kawano. If he goes back to Akuma, a pretty big deal. Pugera, he might be a bit of a dice roll, right? Like, I've seen him like practice with a plethora of different characters. I know he's rotated between Sea Viper, Sagat, Bison, Jury. Right, there are 4 threats out of 1 guy, but as it stands right now, when it comes to the away side, they are locked into those characters, at least for the first game. Let's take a look. Kawano with the Kuma, Pugera with the Bison, interesting. Sahara with the Ed as anchor, makes a lot of sense, and Gachikun putting himself in the tiebreaker position. What are your thoughts on that one?
I love the majority of this. I think the only thing I'm worried about is like if it had to come down to it, Kobeon going at the very end to take on Rashid. You know, obviously, Kevin and some of the other Rashid players don't really like the Geef matchup. Maybe it's like a personal thing. Maybe it's just the way that the character can navigate the neutral with his normals. But I like the majority of it. Sahara always in the anchor position. Always love to see him in the first of 3. I feel like sometimes it takes him a little bit to get revved up, but when he does, he's unstoppable. Kawano lead the charge. Pugera might be able to switch if he needs to. That Bison probably, if he's coming up with that character, it's well informed. We're starting with Kosa, and this is the issue that we've been talking about a little bit. There's a back and forth with having multiple characters on a team. Is it a good idea or a bad idea? In some ways, it's good because if your character's powerful, like that's great. But in another way, it's like they only have to prepare for 1 character instead of like 2 when there's 2 players, right? So if you have 2 Ryus, you don't have to prepare for a baseline Ryu play, right? You're like, okay, I just have to prepare for this Ryu and this Ryu instead of a Ryu and a Mai or something like that. So there's benefits and minuses to having that. And also we've seen Kosa be very well with his Ryu, and Machobo still trying to find himself, I think, in full with that character. But back to Kosa, though, he's the most informed Ryu, I think, in the business right now in terms of this team for Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. Makes sense to see him go up against Kawano.
I will definitely agree with like one of the more informed players when it comes to playing that Ryu. I think Shuto is also part of that conversation, but he's obviously not going to be a part of this division per se. right? I think one of the biggest things to kind of look for is who's actually like transferred over to the Ryu and has actually gotten their full comfort towards playing that character. I will say, like, within this division, I think Kosa's got it a little bit more over Machibo. Not to take it over Machibo, but I feel like it's felt like Kosa has gotten a little bit more comfortable playing the Shoto game in general. That's just like outside looking in, and also just based off of what we've seen so far from this season, right? But I think it also makes sense to put Ryu in against the Akuma pick specifically. I like what Ryu can do. We saw what would happen over at like the Chengdu CPT, right? In that grand finals. We're seeing a lot of damage output between both, surely, but I think it's what you do after when it comes to like one character over the other for burnout specifically. I think Ryu does a fantastic job of applying so much pressure just based off of the Hashogeki without expending too many resources, without really having to devote yourself to or like commit yourself towards anything like unsafe. So I think I like that a little bit more. I want to know if there's like some sort of like plan to get somebody to consistently block Adamant Flame from the side of Akuma, right? Like, I want to see like what those block strings are going to look like if Ryu does end up in block strings or in a burnout scenario specifically. But I think I like Ryu a little bit more while Akuma's in burnout in comparison to like the vice versa scenario.
Oh, 100%. Like, Ryu loves it when you block him. You're in burnout, is damn near over with the Hashogeki pressure. And I think Adamant Fist got a little bit more weakened in terms of like the burnout stickiness. So I don't think it's as strong if I'm not mistaken. Similarly with the Akuma players, when the first dropped, they were like, well, I can't do it like I used to. That being said, you know, the damage potential I think is high on both sides, but you just see the interactions, like the riskiness from the side of Akuma. You can't take too many risks compared to Ryu. Obviously, the 9K health is a factor when you're fighting a dump truck of damage, like 70% from Ryu. However, if we're looking to fight a Ryu, and I had to pick somebody, I pick Kumamoto. He has some of the best offensive, defensive tactics in the business. He just knows when to ODDP, knows when to delay button, he knows when to go for the throw and when to tech. A lot of the Akuma players have cited him to learn how to be defensive along with Bonchan. Let's see if we can stay defensive right now. First match of the day, Kawano versus Kosa. Let's get it.
Pretty aggressive start from Kosa, right? Actually threw out a grab from a pretty decent range for Kawano to actually whiff punish, but now we do get the back throw. Kawano tried to anticipate a normal. You saw the parry come out. No DP. Letting Kawano jump a little bit for free, but already at quite the deficit, right? Kawano being cornered and also taking a lot of life to him. What a pickup off of the OD fireball. Drive rush forward, standing like it for the juggle. Excellent. Kosa is in prime condition to take this round.
Yeah, with all the bar to give too. And there's the sweep. Stops him from drive rushing in. Like that, get that lead, hold that position, perfectly done. Forgive the miss DP. No drive rush buffer for that stand leg kick. Usually Kawano pretty good about that to start things off.
Yeah, looking for him, but I didn't have to waste any sort of meter after it, but still, you get the interruption coming in from Kosa, the standing medium punch. A light delay on that one, by the way. Catching the counter hit against Kawano. We do get the back throw. This is everything. We get the conversion off of it. Dear Lord Almighty. Level 2 already. We're going to get wall bounce. The crumple. And OD, get off of me.
He went for delay back. Stand fierce into the Hashogeki. It's a throw right after. Nice interruption. Tatsu to take him towards the corner. Woke up, blocked it out. Stand like kick. There's what you wanted previously. Is it with the DP? More throws, chats instead. You're dead. Wow, Kawano keep your foot on the gas right now.
Just a little bit of a delay there from Kawano, catching the counter hit against Kosa. And there's a lot of delays coming through, actually, between the two. Kind of hard to tell. It's like a split frame second, actually, to kind of like see some of these interesting delays coming from both. And making some pretty big reads against each other's normal decisions, or also like just button decisions in general.
Oh, caught him standing. Trying to reset for the back throw, caught him with a level 1 OS. I like that. You try to jump back, I still got something for you. Over corner, let's have some bar at the bottom, but it won't be even an issue at all. Kosa's gonna spin his from his bank with savings and seal the deal. Shin Shoryuken to seal it off. Dang.
The call out from both. Aggression, as you could expect from both Akuma and Ryu. Kawano making some pretty good call outs too. We saw that option select level 1 off of the whiffed grab, right? Anybody that jumps back does get themselves trapped in that moment. Kosa recovering nicely off of that one. Pretty impressive.
Not shaking at all. Walk back, try to look for that crouching medium punch, but Kosa was a step ahead. He said he saw the tapes. He knows what Kawano's about. The stand fierce flip out doesn't overextend too much. Donkey kick in there, overhead, nice and meaty, but not too much after that though. But you still have such a big lead. Call the drive gauge to utilize for OD fireball, the drive rush up if you want to.
A really scary range for both, right? Because both can let a fireball rip at any moment's notice. But it's Kawano who's trying to keep it like more ambiguous, right? He's trying to keep it intact with some of these medium kicks and very sparingly throwing fireballs. I think both ends too. You get the drive rush interrupting the solar plexus against Kosa's Ryu. You get the forward throw now. Kawano drive rushing on in. Absolutely ready for the drive impact. Kosa getting demolished in his rebuttal. However, not in a bad spot. He has OD. He has level 2. What a punish counter against the Hashogeki. Kawano. That's actually I think you could option select that, right? You roll your joystick quarter circle back, and in case, like while you're supposedly in blocks, then you could press the button and punish counter accordingly. That's actually pretty damn smooth.
That's sick. Close range suppressor. Cross-cut DP. Tick throw, put him right back up in the corner. Not gonna with those jabs. That stand light kick. He tried to leave 5 frame, but quick with it. DP level 3, spin the bar. Come on, with a lot more control this round. Spurling with the fireballs, but they are at least getting him some space. We do see Kosa perfect pairing, even normal pairing every so often. It's not the fireballs that are hitting, it's just the fact that he's gaining the ground right after. Being able to walk up and use more of that stand light kick when he needs to find conversions and find success. Game to game.
It's hard to really kind of contest with fireballs within that range for either character, right? That's why you see a little bit of reluctancy and barely any fireballs within that first round. But second round, actually, I should say in the third game now, Kosa kind of trying to gauge what Kawano wanted to do initially. That's going to be fat damage incoming. They drop to their knees, Hashogeki. Uppercut, you know it. The control is there. Kosa getting the forward throw. Oh, the uppercut finds the mark for Kawano. Big risk.
Extra Ward gets the knockdown. Goes for the target combo, perfect pair in the fireball, no button right after, no big deal though. Kosa knows that he has this in the bag right now. If he keeps it nice and tight, stand light kick, no drive rush right after though. Even now, I get the idea of the fireballs even more so. Even if you perfect pair, an OD might come through right after. Oh, the double shimmy, the double finesse, and plus, yo, Kosa. He's ice skating, man, just like he does in real life. Doing it in the match. Set point.
Being able to bless both feet. Now to the chin. That fierce. Calling out Kawano's spacing so far. Just running right into it. That could have been a big punish. We still get the demon getting caught in the air. Midway through, no manual dive kicks. And also no escape! That should be more than enough damage! We're building level 3 off of this! DP level 3, Kosa says night, 2 rounds straight, and the look of disappointment from Kawano's face.
Yo, the timing up in the corner, even in general, all around this group for most players, but Kosa more so. In terms of when he's playing these buttons, they're not immediate. There's a lot of delay time. You had pointed this out earlier. We're seeing it work out as like a finish right there with the stand fierce. The timing, the rhythm is so hard for Kawano to run that offensive defense that we like to see usually. He got one ODDP off. The rest just did not work out. Or reversal buttons just did not work out. Or his reversal buttons in terms of, can I find like a delay crouching medium punch, leave myself outside the corner? None of that really working out. Kosa, man, he did his homework. I got to give him credit. A+ gameplay from his Ryu. Definitely did that study, and we talked about it. The damage potential from Ryu, everything that happens from Akuma has to be so much more calculated. And unfortunately, Kosa just way more on point where they need to land. There's some good moments, though. I did like what Kawano was doing for like the jump back OS that we saw previously, knowing when to block in, things like that. You mentioned rolling back the controller a little bit to hit that adamant fist, but button was coming through. But Kosa don't care, bro. The damage is always there. He's always got the bar built up, and he takes it over Kawano. Great start for Seoul.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to momentum, that's like the biggest thing that we've always like highlighted between these two characters. It really depends who's going to be able to strike and also maintain that pressure. And a lot of the damage is going to be mostly into the corner, right? It's going to be like who gets to drag the opponent into the corner first. As much as we saw, or I guess as little as we saw, like a dance being played mid-screen, most of the territories, most of the pressure happened in the corner, right? And that's just the name of the game between these two characters. But coming up next, Fugera has to face off against Kobayon's Zangief. That's an interesting call. I honestly thought it would mostly be Nemo possibly taking it to the mirror match, honestly. But I'm trying to think, what is it about Zangief that gives Bison a hard time? I'm genuinely quite perplexed by this. I am genuinely not sure what Kobion sees in this matchup to want to go second, or at least to want to go against Pugare's Bison specifically.
Like willingly. It's kind of weird because I feel like when you have the lead and you're poking with stand medium kick, and you're spacing out your scissor kick well, and you're chilling, you don't have to play like bigger buttons, it doesn't feel nearly as bad. But then the swing happens where he gets the lead and it feels like, I don't know how to put this. I was talking to Beckman about this. Like, it feels like when he gets the lead, the key players either get more active, they get more aggressive, and it feels like it's hard, it's difficult to quantify this, because I personally think when I play this and when other Bison players play this, that it's hell, because any scissor kick leads into extra damage for the Geek player if it gets too close. And spacing it out with stand medium kick and finding the proper ranges is kind of hard, but it's not impossible though. And even though Geek has some great buttons, you still have stand fierce. Something about the matchup, being a matchup against a grappler as Bison, no matter if you win it, doesn't feel good. So you have to get close to them.
Right.
And any reaction that gets close to them is painful. One bad OE cycle crusher, for example, like that you just don't get, leads into a minus frame scenario where they're just gonna spin that stick and catch you for that. I don't, it's why, because on paper I don't think it's that bad though. But in matches, all the Bison players are like, this is hell.
So I think I can understand now. That makes a lot of sense too. I think like most Bison players would really try to find their way in and also try to apply pressure. The fact that Bison doesn't necessarily have like any real, I guess, frame traps outside of doing like a standing heavy punch into like whatever normal, or actually like a lighter normal because it's gonna be +1, or even like getting close enough for a back roundhouse, that's still dangerous territory, right? Like, because after your turn is over, Zangief is still gonna be within range if you end it with like lights, like you say back roundhouse, frame trap into lights, whatever string, you're still within range of a grab. Or an SPD specifically. I also think that Bison's defense is lackluster, right? That's one of the biggest things we highlight against Bisons, is like we take advantage of the character once they're knocked down and they don't have super. I think Zangief can force those issues a lot just based off of headbutts, right? I think if Zangief's up close and applies enough plus frames on a Bison player to waste resources, Zangief is winning the long game. And I think that's going to be majority of how the matchups go. I think it's going to be a lot of headbutts coming in. And being at +4, it's very difficult. Like, you don't want to press any sort of button that close. If you're blocking against Zangief, you can't DP out of it. You can't OD DP to steal your turn back. You could level 1, but if they call it out right, you're hella screwed. You lose a bar and you get hella punished for it. So it's really difficult.
You know, in addition to all that, the jumping game is pretty good from Geef. Jump medium kick is like a deep reaching button, so it's harder to crouch fierce and anti-air, so you have to back off and try to air-to-air with hell attack, and then at that point you're giving up ground, and then while you're giving up ground, something like Kobion might drive rush crouching light, or crouching medium kick to get close enough for an SPD, or maybe he'll do drive rush stand fierce to catch one of your buttons. So like, again, the swing back and forth, that's why it's so hard to describe that. When that starts to happen, you start seeing more of those tools of the Geef being utilized, and less of your tools being utilized too. As you mentioned, having to use super, it's gonna kind of suck. I'd rather use it for like level 3, level 2, an extension or whatever, after like an OD bomb. Whatever it may be, I'd rather use that kind of stuff for that offense, but he's forcing you to use that defense. So it's gonna be a real good test of defensive tactics from the side of Pugera, getting that lead and trying to keep it and keep the bomb on. For someone like Kobion, though, he loves to poke. He loves to go for like the few pieces here and there. He's not really a gambler style. That footsie game might be helping out against a drive rush, but not right there on the round start, though.
Rather difficult. We'll see if Pugera is able to kind of play that really annoying like hit and run game. Standing medium kick also good on the side of Bison as well.
Oh, empty SPD. Now you're up in the corner. Less room. He doesn't have to drive rush up. He can just chill. Hold this ground.
Yeah. You notice how he backed away from a plus frame scenario, right? Like that standing heavy punch, although +1, he does not want to pursue any sort of frame trap afterwards. And Kobion's still on the run for that SPD. Already getting the first round.
Health in the yellow. Yep. That's going to be a kill shot right there. Kobion locking him down, and we talked about it, man. He's normal sometimes. Hard to get through. Stand fierce, blowing through that button with the armor. My man's harassing with that button. He delayed just a little bit, but Kara wasn't able to leave the corner.
It's kind of tough, right? Even trying to escape like via air option, Zangief can cover that with a lariat.
Oh, absolutely right.
But this is tough. Bison is so desperate, right? Okay, I like that. Good patience there from Bugera. Absolutely waiting out the DI.
Throw. One more throw will be it. There it is. Bugera just goes for it. Nothing wrong with that. Head detect. Whatever. Still be up in the corner. Evening out Bugera. More of the bomb. Try respect. Heavy kick to start things off. He is so active. It's working out dividends right now.
Oh, we'll definitely steal that. So much more of a difference while that bomb is planted. However, Kobayan getting Bugera in the corner off of that drive reversal, sneaking right under the body splash, completely whiffing from the side of Kobayan. This mine is everything for Bugera. Look at that. Even extra pressure added on just because of the mine, right? Kobayan has a lot to come back for. He has level 3, surely, but a little bit over half, 4 bars now on the drive gauge, but just in critical territory when it comes to his life, it's so difficult.
Yeah, jumping is a problem right here. Bugera's got that level 3 if he wants to. Any interaction, any conversion, driver's crouching light kick, and a medium. Even that crouching medium kick could also be deadly. To go out for Kobayan to come through. OD. This other jump in. No shot, right, Vicious? No shot.
Oh, that was so plus. He went for the drive reversal anyway. That was slightly delayed. Bugera absolutely ready to snipe out the neutral jump. Whew, what a drive rush forward. And even like a slight sigh of relief from the side of Bugera. Insane catch mid-air.
Had that not, it could have been his life. But stays alive. Defense real good here for Bugera. Can he keep it up? Keep that healthy. Poke with that stand medium kick. There's the stand fierce though. See those medium buttons, excuse me. You're gonna see more of that big fierce. Bomb is on. Drive rush throw. Drive reversal takes away whatever was gonna come through. The ruler tool. Keep out.
Ooh. And you see how meticulous Bugera is with that spacing, right? Like medium kick to harass the drive gauge against Kobayan. Also keep his distance a little bit further out than some of Zangief's normal. Kobayan not going to be able to catch on yet, even though that's going to be minus. He's still able to back away that backdash, avoiding the SPD. Real slick stuff coming in from Bugera.
The assignment. Talked about the minus frames leading to SPD. Bugera was aware. Backdashes. Put himself on set point. Keeping the lead with that stand medium kick. Psycho pressure for the Yoki. Crouch fierce. Oh, beautiful interruption. Able to get the crouching medium punch right after. Back this ender. Drive rush throw. No to overhead. Perfect parry. And the punish takes care of the bomb. Nice and close with the hell stab. Oh, I thought he was going to go for Bush Dynamite there.
Again, medium kick is going to be the biggest tool against Zangief right now, or against specifically against Kobayan. Doing so much work. Yeah, plus frames afterwards. Off that background house. Backing away after the lights, by the way. Kobayan attempted to do a parry. It's kind of tough. Oh!
Block it out. In the corner, wake up, level 1, blocked out. Did it immediately, get hit with the wheel kick to start things off. OD, Boris Dynamite. One more touch of trade. Will work out if he wants to go for it.
No
but interrupts our driver
dude.
with the crouching medium kick. What a punishing move for that level 2 to come through. He interrupted with the crouching medium kick of all buttons. I cannot believe that worked. And that had to have been a play also against a possible stand fierce to blow it up, because that would take care of that option since it is a low. But my God, the timing, Bugera, the defense up in the corner to not break down. I wish I was him, bro. But Bugera's different. Damn.
That is a tough call from Kobayan after the level 2 side switch. Right? Like trying to rush up and trying to get a meaty is kind of difficult. Bugera making the right calls too. As you had said, it covers both options. If they're a little bit too late, if their normal's not going to reach enough, or if they decide to do charge heavy punch, right? That definitely covers so many options. What a good call. And even if it was quote-unquote risky, Bugera had so much leverage behind the amount of rounds he had, or at least the amount of resources he had too. What a good call. Amazing.
Man, he was so active on defense, like immediately. Some of them didn't work out. Obviously, like the level 1 got blown up, and some other things definitely got blown up. But it felt like every knockdown or most of the knockdowns that were happening, he'd be immediately active with something. Like he's gonna decide something and not have to hold pressure right after. And I like that from Pogera. Very good on the immediacy. That's 10-10 right now. Good 8 squad. Saishunkan, Kumamoto. Sahara sits waiting. I would have to imagine it's Nemo. No offense to Machubo, but with the litany of characters, I would have to imagine Nemo comes up with probably Blanca. Maybe the Bison. I mean, we've mostly seen Bison in League from him. But I've been proven wrong before, so.
Oh, he's going back to the Akuma. Let's go.
Oh, yes.
Thank God. Honestly, I love the way Machubo was leveling up with his Akuma. I'm actually quite sad that he actually chose majority of his season play with Ryu. But this is also tough. You're asking for so much trouble. Look at how many Akumas Sahara has bodied on the way over. There are 3 of them. Out of the 5 Ws he has, 3 of them are Akuma. And this is the first time Machubo's pulling out Akuma in all of the season. That is mad risky. If I were just looking at based off of numbers alone, I would be terrified for the side of Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto.
Well, I'd be shook. This is an unfortunate thing because I feel like Sahara's one of the best at dealing with this matchup. We've seen it over at online and offline CPTs, obviously here, Street Fighter League. He's had such a good game plan to not get blown up by the demon flip, the demon raid options that could come through. He knows how to dash under and do those jabs. He's similar to like the likes of Lashar in terms of how he deals with that on defense. His anti-airs are usually on point. So this is going to be a big test. Macho with I don't want to say like new with the Akuma. Obviously, he's played the Akuma before, but again, it's been a while since he's really grinded out that character compared to his Ryu. But this is a character I'd rather see him on in general, especially someone that can be so optimal and understand how to pull out the most damage for the character. On paper, Akuma's great. Like he can throw out the fireballs faster than the limbs can come through from Ed. The aerial approaches we mentioned, if you're not locked in, you're gonna get clocked out, right? When it comes to Ed, with the dive kicks, the delay, guillotines, stuff like that. And the normals aren't that bad too from Akuma. However, Sahara's had so much practice. Even recently on his stream, he was playing Akuma just to get a feel of the character because he used to play Akuma also. When he came to the scene, it was Ed and Akuma that he played both characters. So he doesn't understand this matchup more intrinsically than most.
Yeah, I think you've pretty much hit the nail on the head. As many avenues as Akuma does have towards like entry points against Ed, I still feel like if Sahara has like a firm understanding of how the character works and what the dynamic is between like the character and the player, I think he knows how to shut it down, right? I think it's this matchup for Sahara goes beyond character to character on paper, right? I think he's gotten so much experience and such really intricate reads too. Like when you watch him play in World Warrior, he does such specific things to kind of close the gap, which is really ambiguous, instead of playing second to any aggressive type of character. He'll get within range of throwing out the flickers. He'll kind of like back away in case you don't budge. Like he'll try to throw out some really, really good good reads off of just like upwards flicker, and then just kind of back away and reset. And then next thing you know it, he's right back in within range to either throw out the Cobra Strike, another flicker, what have you, right? He's always looking for the angle to whiff punish or close the gap. Those were his 2 primary objectives in Sahara.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. Like when he's initiating drive rush forward fierce, as you mentioned with the Cobra Strike, flicker as well, fireballs to kind of cover the approach. I feel like he's like the complete package. When you look at other Ed players, they kind of lean into like a certain area or a certain thing. I think Sahara is putting points in everywhere, right? Defense, offense. His spacing is really good too as well. His counter pokes are really good. Sometimes it does take him a little bit to get going. But in the first of 3, I would heavily trust this cat over most. Sahara says in his interview though, I was thinking of playing Ryu, but I won to a lot of Akumas, so I'm confident in my move. So I think he's saying that he was thinking about playing the Ryu players, but he's won against a lot of Akuma players, so he's confident in dealing with this character.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, even if we don't watch it with the CPTs, the numbers don't lie. You saw it in the stats matchup between the two, right? Sahara doing a fantastic job for good 8 squad, getting what, 5 big Ws, whether it's in like a 10-point position or even like the anchor position. But they're bringing it up again. It's as if they heard me. 70 points to Sahara's name, right? He's taken down so many different totals. Funny enough, the only one he actually lost to was Shuto. in the very first week. Who was it that he played off against the second time around? Okay, it was Eita. Yeah, so he's taking down Eita. He's also taken down Bonchan in the tiebreaker match. And that was a heartbreaker, by the way. That was mad close in that corner where Bonchan missed his opportunity to cross cut because he gave up the corner. And then Sahara beat Eita again in the run back 3-2. So although he has a firm record against the Akumas, they're all very, very close games. Can Machabo bring it just as close and take it all the way for SOL?
Look at the opponent close. Real strike throw. Excuse me, that wasn't real strike throw because he was only parry. It's only strike. Perfect parry. Got him. Not that range. Can he perfect parry drive rush up? Oh, walk up throw.
A little bit of a stutter step.
Ferrari
it's
walk
kind of
speed.
hard, right? It's so difficult. Exactly that. That walk speed makes it that much harder to tell if a strike or a throw is coming because of Akuma's access to both, right? That leads to so much more damage. But taking the throw is totally fine for Sahara. And also after that light, he backs away with the backdash immediately. And Machabo was wary of it. Kind of difficult right now for Sahara to make that climb, but he catches Machabo flinching off that.
Still in the arm. Odie fireball. Gets some space. Gets the overhead. One more hit. Oh, he caught him just standing with a crouching medium punch. I don't know if he was walking back or what have you, but the timing from Sahara, it was picture perfect. He could have died to an Odie fireball, just with an interaction, a trade, even to the 9K health that is Akuma. Dive, kick, re-anti. We have the proper spacing for that. And the timing with the DP.
For Sahara. Ooh, whiff the start of that. No sparks today. Machabo gaining some ground off of that fireball. The counter hit is there, and so is the confirm off of the Odie flicker. Blitz to knock him down, kill rush forward, does get the forward throw, dashes up, tries to bait in action. Guess what? He found it. Dash right into the fierce Machabo, emptying out the gauge just to ensure the life lead. It does not kill though. Use that walk speed, Machabo. How do you force Sahara on the back end? You do successfully get that tick throw. Excellent calls from Machabo.
That's been quite a bit of bar, but for Akuma, it's not the biggest problem in the world. You'll build it up. Like the level 2. Double the damage without it. Wow, that stand medium kick has been implemented, I think, in this matchup in general. I've not seen that since like Street Fighter V. That many stand medium kicks in Street Fighter V. Do like seeing that. There it is again, but this time not hitting anything. Oh, you might be right, actually.
He's done that so many times. Oh my God, just eating the jump roundhouse. Talking about the sequencing, so good for Machabo. Up until this point, this back throw was everything for Sahara, keeping him down with that standing fear. Luckily enough, doesn't confirm off of it, right? That was a jump reset. Back-to-back throws. Sahara off to a great start. Keep doing it, man.
It would have worked. He was still blocking. DP, some distance, drive rush jab this time. Set up a throw, opens up the level 2 to close the door. Sahara. The timings, especially at the very end, the closings off, have been difficult for Machabo. The usually is pretty good about checking drive rush and things like that. And honestly, the Akuma is looking great. That stand medium kick, as mentioned, the fireballs, the place with the walk speed, it's all pretty good. But it's just those closeout moments are just better in Sahara's hands.
And he's taking so much damage off of those like repeated throws as Akuma, right? That's like the dangers of playing this character. Like if you are susceptible to a character that can throw you that many times over, you are seeing most of your life gone within a flash. It's rather difficult, especially if you're stuck in the corner. Machabo trying to creep on up. 3/4 of the screen, throwing those fireballs.
Reversal, forward fierce, as you mentioned, to engage in that +1 scenario. Ends the turn on the -3 with the forward fierce. Machabo trying to walk him down with that flickers, making it a little bit difficult to do so. But we still get it. I can't believe that actually hit. And kick Tatsu to take it towards the corner. The shimmy. My man walked back a microsecond to be able to get that off. And the damage is racking up.
Perfect parry against the meaty standing medium punch. What a decision to make at Sahara. Waiting for it. Kill rush backwards. OD, we got the blitz. Pretty close to the corner, so you gotta dump out the damage now. Ooh, said he wasn't even done. There was a psycho blitz coming right after that. What a call, dude. Sahara putting it all together, even in the corner with that level 2.
Pure lockdown. He's not falling susceptible to like perfect parry drive rush up like what Machabo would like him to do. He's kind of just holding his ground, keeping his drive gauge up. Knows the ranges, yeah. See, not playing a button or a drive rush. Interrupts his drive rush. Machimo, little head tilt right there. Spot of frustration. Perfect parry. Takes the turn back. It's mine now. Knock him down for the Yoki. Oh, nice and meaty with it. Not spending any bar. Can use it right now up in the corner. It was leisure.
Oh. Trying to dash back and forth. Trying to steal turns away from Machimo. And now it's Akuma swinging up until this point. Excellent drive reversal, by the way. Forces Machimo back. He's drained a little bit of his drive gauge. Back to 1. And now 2 games from the side of Sahara. You know, I really appreciate his decisions to throw in these drive reversals as soon as any player starts to get aggressive while he maintains the life lead. I think he's very cognizant of an opponent's drive gauge as well as to when to utilize said drive reversals. It's been pretty potent because you see somebody kind of like on life support, you see them with a little bit of drive gauge left. They want to try to move on forward to regain some of that drive gauge back, right? And they'll try to think a little bit more aggressively. At least Machimo would. So that's a really excellent call from Sahara.
Be able to catch that walk back to the back throw. Yeah, definitely agree. I like the space that he's been playing, and that also kind of beats him out of space where he can be able to anti-air effectively and play the ranges that he wants to with the buttons. Also, the fireball takes a turn back on the -4. Come here. Oh, I thought I was going to get a crumple for a follow-up, but Sahara, not too bad. He's back in green. Perfect parry. Not going to drive rush up. Oh, as I say that, he falls for the mistake. He thought he was clear to come through. Not just yet.
Give me that, right yeah, going past the fireball. Sahara trying to pinpoint the moment of weakness. Machimo still like trying to throw these fireballs too, despite getting punished severely for it last time, but also making it quick, right? Just catch and release. Ooh, yeah. Nice and easy is Machimo.
This from Machimo, though. More fireballs. They don't do some of these normals. Obviously, one of them got caught with the OD flicker, but that's fine. It's not so fine. Knocked down with the Psycho Blitz. Kill rush right after it. Caught him. And this is unfortunate. You're up in the corner. You think he's level 1. Huge lead right here for Sahara. He still has level 2 in his pocket. He don't even need it to kill. No conversion. We'll get off the crouching medium punch, though. Tatsu, Icicles on the wake up. Getting the back throw. Sahara. The version killing again without using that bar at the bottom. That'd be definitely beautiful for him to be able to use that bar for a little bit later on. Perfect parry, interruption. Sahara set point now.
Another day in the office for Sahara. You can see his body language too. Not phased one bit. Good call out against the drive rush. Nothing to really back up Ed with it to make it a true block string, at least from that angle.
Called the tap parry. The fake out, catch a little bit of the drive gauge back. Cross FDP into level 3. Oh, this is horrible. Man's got all the bar to give right now. And no drive gauge. The Department of Sahara's gonna have to make some critical decisions. Life support.
The optimal position for Machimo. Level 2, let's encroach on that space, gain some of our drive gauge back. Pretty smart. Does nullify the jump out, by the way. Just very sharp angles that Sahara caught Machimo at. Fully green, by the way. You tried to catch Machimo, or sorry, Machimo actually tried to get away with movement. Again, he's not sitting still. Sahara's taking advantage of it. No way, brother. Machimo.
Oh. It's over,
Machimo.
Sahara. Oh my
Giving
God.
away the games. Did you see how many times Machimo flinched? After an initial block off of a normal, he either tried to backdash or jump. I actually might think it's the latter. I think he tried to jump out of the way, and Sahara catching that movement multiple times, 2 whole sequences. Machimo had it in the bag, but instead he's the one putting the flies in the bag as well. This is actually devastating. Machimo had his chance to get the W, and he flinched on defense. He couldn't just take the throw. He couldn't just sit still and take the potential throw, I should say.
That would have been so much better. A whole little bit of damage, go back to neutral, you'd been fine, and you could play your fireball game that you were doing so before. Keep him out. It was going to be a one-touch scenario. He was in burnout, and to the other side of things, I will give Sahara some credit because he did survive that burnout scenario. He took the chip as far as he could, get his bar back, his drive gauge back faster, and sneaks in the DI for the kill. But again, Sahara, another day in the office, even if Machimo would have won that game, I don't think the result would have been that different against Sahara. It's just so well informed in that matchup. He knows when the perfect parry for the most part. He knows what buttons to play. He knows where to stand and where to land those anti-airs, and that gives 30-10 once again the Good 8 squad over Saishunkan so Kumamoto. I do like the fact that Machimo went back to Akuma, but is it too late in the game right now to pull out a new character? We'll have to see a little bit later on. Then again, you're fighting someone like Sahara who plays Akuma and eats him up for breakfast every damn day of the week. Damn.
That is a pretty valid question, man. You go into every single week with Ryu and then switch it up at the very tail end of your career or your season. That is a tough decision to make, but I mean, Majima felt pretty confident about it. I wish he had a little bit more confidence on his defensive plays. He had so much left to work with towards the end as well. And him not expecting the DI, that's just unchecked. That's just how it goes. Man. Sahara really proving his worth for Good 8 squad, right? Even the chat's like, there's no way Sahara would go without being in Street Fighter League the way he's playing, right? He is in contention for being part of a championship team again with how many points Good 8 squad just scored for themselves, now putting them at 220, by the way. Not only that, but he's got to be in contention for claiming multiple awards, right? Drive gauge efficiency when it comes to like using some of these like moments to OD flicker, drive rush on in, right? Really basic things too that Ed can utilize to like expend some drive gates to score some of these hits. But most importantly, he's got to be in contention for Rookie of the Year, right? He's got to be within the top 3 discussion, leaning towards top 2 at the very minimum.
Yeah, I definitely put him in my top 2. Like, I feel like he's just been so strong, so dominant. And also, like, even outside of League, obviously, we know him for qualifying for Capcom Cup, still entering the World Warriors and getting top 8s just because he wants a little fun. So, this man Sahara is different. Like, I'm so glad that they added him to Good 8 squad. I remember talking to Gachikun, and he was like, we have a secret weapon over at last year. And he was like, we're developing a player. And I'm like, wonder who that is. And then you saw Sahara over at the Singapore event. And then you start seeing him at other events here and there, like this year, and doing a lot of work right off the rip. Like, they've invested a lot of time, and they've gotten their gains out here. Good 8 squad with a significant win, shooting them on up. And honestly, the whole team's looking great, you know. Pugera winning against Geef in that fashion with that sort of defense is something that a lot of Bison players falter to quite a bit. Like, that happens quite a bit when you're in the corner. You're just taking too many throws and things like that. You're taking too many things on chip, and you just suddenly die because you're too late to the draw in terms of getting offensive, defensive. But he was aggressive right off the rip every time he woke up. Let's get to the interviews, though. Gachikun said, great job from everyone. I was the extra because I didn't feel like playing Geef, so I went at the extra. Really great job. So, just like Dual Kevin and the rest, they don't like that matchup, and he didn't want to have to play Geef. But I'm surprised Kobeon wasn't played there in general, though, but I guess they called Bulgaria and Kobeon in general, so worked out for them, regardless.
I would have loved to see Nemo in the mix. Honestly, I think putting Machimo against the Akuma killer was a death sentence, right? But can I be honest? I think Nemo is taking a little bit of a backseat to recover from like his training sessions with other games, right? We know for sure he's well involved in other pro tours. I think him being more of a facilitator rather than a player, I think it makes sense seeing how busy Nemo has been, and that's just being transparent about it. I think it's a fair assessment, right? Putting up players that have put a little bit more time into the mix in comparison, it just has to happen. So I think Nemo taking a step back in the formula of this matchup in particular, I think that's fair. But what I will say, I think Kosa might have been a little bit well suited for the end play with the Ryu a little bit more, because Kosa looked very comfortable against Kawano, and not a lot of players can do that against someone like him.
Like, to be able to study the tapes that intrinsically to understand what Sahara would have done too, as well as he did with Kawano, would have been great to see. I feel like when I watch him like play that matchup, I feel like he understands rotation of special moves that you need to use in the mid-range, like fireballs, donkey kicks at certain distances and things like that, and knows when to go in. I think Machimo coming up for the Akuma pick was like, on paper it seems like it's good, but then you're fighting Sahara, you're new with the Akuma in Street Fighter League, your team needs you to win at that point, where you're walking away with only 10 points to your name, and we're in the second half of the season, and you're below the playoff line to stay fine. That's a lot to put on somebody right then and there. So Going back to the interviews, Kumamoto says, I unfortunately lost, so I didn't have the skills. Those skills are improved with eating. I had 4 bowls of rice today, so I have 2 more bowls of rice from now on. Bro, that, I don't know if your stomach can handle that. That sounds like a lot. How big are the bowls? Anyway.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Bulgaria says, yeah, talk to me.
I think 6 bowls of rice is equal to like 1 regular portion in America. I know it sounds unreasonable,
right.
but when you get there, you'll understand. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Like, I think it's a regular portion here. Which is like
so
it's a statement against America more so than it is against Japanese portions. I'll just put it that way.
100%. I'm sitting like, man, you bulking a little bit there, huh? Well, Bulgaria says, I couldn't get the order correct, but luckily I was able to win. So he wasn't really expecting Kobe on his side of things, but he was still able to take that W. Sara said, I had 600 games against Akuma in the week, so I was really confident on this matchup, really happy we won. You know what? You deserved it. 600 games against Akuma, bro, you deserve that. With Spa, you deserve to have a break for a week. Well, you're going to take the points, which is a big boon for your team. And Gatsuki ends it with saying, next up is the top team against Nagoya NTPOJA, so we'll beat them into the playoffs in first place.
Can't say it's a bold statement. They've been rather consistent for the last couple of seasons, or at least last season they were mad consistent. But man, 220 points to further the lead, increase the lead, excuse me, between themselves and Nagoya NTPOJA. We're going to be playing towards the end, right? We're not going to see how that plays out just yet. But the battle of the remaining 2 spots for the top 3 are going to be happening in match 3. In the meantime, we have CAG Osaka going up against Victrix Favu Gaming. You guys do not want to miss that, right? CAG Osaka and Favu Gaming both at the bottom spots, 5th and 6th respectively, with 110 points to their name. Now, as much as we anticipate certain matchups, I think this one, obviously, we talk about do or die moments, but I still see a possibility of one of these teams being able to at least claim the 3rd place spot. But it is rather difficult, right? Everything kind of turns up towards the end, unless my math is completely off the charts, like completely off. But there's like a very small percentage of either of these teams being able to leapfrog over until like the next couple of weeks. So we'll see if that plays out. We'll get that calculation going. In the meantime, you guys have been tuning in to Street Fighter League Pro Japan, and our sponsors for this season, obviously Galeria. You see the big PC tower on your screen. You also see it right next to our duo, Aru and Hamiko. These guys have been throwing it down for a lot of the big esports events throughout Tokyo and also throughout Japan. Right, these guys have not only been a part of the FGC and have been a mainstay, they've also been a part of like a plethora of different genres. I had the luxury of being able to stream off of one during my time for Street Fighter League, and I gotta say it's a pretty impressive piece of machinery, being able to like multitask without any sort of burden on like the PC itself, like fully decked out from the company itself too. So really interesting to see how they've been progressing so far, and also glad that they're a mainstay. And speaking of mainstays, we have the 2025 season official partner, and hopefully to continue on with that in further endeavors. It's Suzuki, who've been bringing down the house when it comes to their designs and also their character choices for their bike models, right? Their motorcycles have been looking rather sick at every single event that they bring them to, and I'm actually quite excited to see if they'll be bringing it out for Capcom Cup. They should be, right? That's got to be a mainstay.
Yeah. It's gotta be. I haven't got my picture yet, so like let's make that happen. Also, I wouldn't mind seeing some other characters too as well. The Dre one looks super sick. The normal blue looks beautiful as well. But if they want to go through with some other ones, Sagat, maybe Akuma, some like nice red for that one. But either way, shout out to through. It's great to see these sponsors that are not just like normal tech-based ones or esport company ones supporting the scene. And you can support the scene too by buying the official merch. There's quite a bit of merch for Street Fighter League, and I hope to get all of that. I'm actually gonna get another suitcase just for the Street Fighter League merch, because there was a ton last year. There was like Good 8 Squad they were selling out there, but you can also get some of this stuff I think right now on the website and probably at Capcom Cup itself. I definitely need that glow stick to cheer on my favorite teams. People, it looks like 2 of the metal displays are already sold out. I believe it's Hiroshima Team Itsuka and Zeta Division Geek League that are gone. And I think Kakeru might be a part of that. And also Hiroshima Team Itsuka being in a leading position, or at least were in a leading position, and how dominant they've been, definitely contributed to them selling out. So I hope we get more of those at Capcom Cup. We can restock before that time comes, or we can restock just in general. But that just shows how much people love Street Fighter League and support these teams. It's like a sporting event to them, and we're not done with this event at all. We've got CAG Osaka versus Victrix 5 Gaming coming up after this break. People, do not go far, because we're going to have more Street Fighter 6 coming action, coming at you real soon.
再開は約8分後の20時4分頃を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
さあ、やりましょうか。いい？これでおやすみなさい。え？そうね。さてと、さっさと片付けましょう。
United Kingdom.
人使いも荒いわ。
Here comes a new challenger. Viper wins.
速やかに消します。
おいどういう
マジ
ナイスいいね。
レクサスに対してもジャスト
はいバックステがいいのでそこに
おいおい。
うわー残る
残りはします。
取れるだけ取る
ナイスコンボ。
ありました竜の火力であれば
そうですね画面足の距離が見えてましたねちゃんと
感じです。
あいいよ。
さあうまくあるのプラス中間
はい。
うわド密着インパクトやべえ。
これは劇的な逆転だよね。演出終わって8割ほどでしょうか。
うわリバーサインパクト
打っている
だから回復するか
これバートしていない
おい。
ダメジャックショット取られたまさかのバイパーミラー実現という形になりました。
すごいね
に対してしっかりと飛んでいました。
でかすぎ？
ヒットからこれは追撃ではなくお
でかすぎ。これ行かないか。さすがに行かないか。60%指導だと思うので行きそう。これは行きました。おっしゃー。
ここではうまく画面端を背負わせて
でかすぎ相手。
を通したダブルバーン攻め継続ですがし
冷静。
対空の精度が光る雨量
うますぎなんだけど勝てるよ、ウリョさん。
攻めは
ウリョさん勝てる絶対勝てる。ナイス。
ジャスト
素晴らしい。いい選択。
しっかりね
マジ？やばすぎなんだけど。
ジャスタで受けたと
5分の時もあり
もちしないこれ。
こ
これは使ってでかすぎ。ウリョさん勝てる。絶対勝てる。絶対勝てる。
いやまあちょっとあるかいやこれ前出る
小さ
相打ち
相打ち
おー素晴らしい。
よっしゃーマジでありがとう
よっしゃーらー勝ったぞ。
はいインターバルは明けましてここからはチームマッチ
Just like that, right back into it. Match number 2, CAG Osaka versus Victrix Favu Gaming. Victrix here with Senkola. Glad I didn't have a full-on mishap. I noticed that my mic was muted, but I'll tell you what, we're back on track, baby. We got the explosive rookie. The boy becomes a man. Takagi coming in to represent himself pretty well, actually, having that interview with Daigo. And of course, the Sea Viper enthusiast, the eternal ace, it's Udio, bringing in the flames to the mix. Speaking of flames, we got the unlimited dragon dance coming in from Eita, but no longer with the Ken. Obviously, going through with the demon, and it's Akuma. And still puzzles me to this day why he calls himself the reticent perfectionist. It is Fenrich coming in with the electricity of that Blanca, and also being the coach. This team, slowly but surely, trying to crawl their way back into the good graces of at least within the top 3, but they have quite the hill to climb. Let's see if they can continue that momentum from last week after their W against Good 8 Squad.
Good luck to them as they have to fight Team Mai. This is Victrix Favu Gaming with a lot of Mai's on their side and some surprising picks depending on who's going to be running what. All led by one of the oldest fighting game players in the business that's still able to run hands with the mans out here. It's Sako leading the charge out here for Victrix Favu Gaming to get a closer look at this team of Mai's plus more. Victrix Favu Gaming started off with the cold hard math and calculus. Leads to some really nasty combos. It's Ryukichi on the Mai, maybe the Ken if need be. After that, the hero of Sunrise himself, Moke, on the Chun-Li. Seeing that mostly, but might dabble in some other characters here or there. After that, makes the Graves Ryu. It's Fujimura, who's been mostly on the Mai himself too as well, but doing a fantastic job of keeping up that aggression when he needs to. And last but definitely not least, the strongest spear leading the charge. We talk about it. We see on the screen, it's Sako. Even at an older age, still able to fight with the best of them with the Elena, with the Aki. We'll see if he's actually able to be utilized in his team order, because usually we've been seeing him in the extra position. Regardless, these are the bottom two teams currently speaking right now, and they both need as many points as possible to at least be in a sniffing chance of that playoff position.
Kind of wild to say that too, because I think two of the players on Victrix Favu Gaming have had a pretty consistent amount of appearances throughout the Capcom Pro Tour, right? Moke doing a fantastic job of trying to accumulate as many points as possible, but the most important thing, gaining that experience around the world. Same with Ryukichi, right? Ryukichi's been doing an amazing job with this transition over from Ken. I think he dabbled with other Shotos as well on the way through, and then settled on the Mai. Now, although they don't necessarily have the points to show it, I still think those two individuals are doing a fantastic job. Fujimura, I hope he's done the full transition over to Sea Viper, because I like what he presented last time. But this is what the order is like. Fenrich, Eita, and Takagi. It's going to be the Blanca sandwich yet again with a little bit of Demon in the middle.
I hope that they did their homework like Crazy Raccoon did, where Crazy Raccoon spent like, what, 3 to 4 hours practicing with Kings Vega and a few other Blanca players to get lapped up in that matchup, because this is going to be devious if you're not ready for that sort of sandwich. A lot of green on that one. We're going to be starting with Ryukichi, really. I thought Ryukichi would be at the very end, or at least in the anchor position, but it looks like he's going up first. It's going to be the Mai start things off. All right. It's Fenrich. All right. Actually, that's not that bad of an option. I think with the last time they played, this team played, let me actually take a look at what had happened. What had happened was Fujimura took down Tadaki. So that was the Blanca player that he beat before, but Fenrich definitely went a different style. He's more about, forcing up the burnout. Willing to go into burnout to force out the burnout from you, and then build up that level 2 to take advantage of like the corner scenarios and cook you from there. So he's got, in my opinion, some of the best setups, best awareness of using that lightning beast to feast upon the drive gauge and then your health right after. But Fujimura, I mean, he understands what's good about these characters, and he's using it to effectiveness with the Mai. We'll see how this goes.
I see. During team match 3, you saw Ryukichi face off against Fenrich last time, and ended up shutting him out 3-1. I see. So it makes sense. I think this is one of those cases where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think Ryukichi has a pretty fond understanding of what he needs to do, and he did bust out the Mai that last time in week 3. So, although I didn't really see it coming, they're showing the graphic again. By the way, pay close attention to this one. I think this is totally fine from the side of Ryukichi. Now, the things they need to kind of adjust with is like how they're going to play the rest of their matchup out, because CAG Osaka, Victrix Favu Gaming, although they did get the W, they need to ensure that the same results are procured going forward, at least for this team. But Victrix Favu Gaming, right? I see Fenrich giving a little bit of a harder time against Ryukichi's Mai based off of his CFN. Although, like, we could talk about his results and what his practice sessions are looking like, because there are so many different Mai players in Japan and throughout the world, and I'm sure he's giving recognition towards like how strong Ryukichi is as a player, that his Mai is going to be much harder to adapt to. But it's really difficult to tell like what Blanca should be doing in this match.
It's kind of hard because you can slide the fireballs as per usual, but the neutral just feels like it might be kind of difficult. Stand medium, stand fierce are really good buttons to help poke the likes of Blanca. I feel like her pressure up in the corner is going to be nasty against any sort of character. He does have jump back ball, which could collect against like stand fierce or stand medium, but that's also kind of a hard call too as well, to be like a consistent answer to apply pressure or have an answer against her buttons in the neutral. So that all being said, you have to worry about the fact that Ryukichi, if he wants to, can switch to Ken. He haven't said it in one of his interviews previously when fighting a Blanca player. I don't remember who it was, but he was like, if things would have got dicey, I would have switched over to Ken. It might actually been this one. But the fact that you have another character that can also do well against Blanca means this is going to be hard fought right off the rip for Fenrich. But Fenrich says in his interview, last time I lost, so I wanted revenge. But I expect to get the matchup with him in this situation, an important match for the playoffs. a little bit different.
7.5 と3.5で今日も行
That's
かせて
something that had to be really anticipated, right? Like if you consider it, like you face them off in week 3, by default you should assume you're facing them off again in the second half of the season, right? But for playoff contention, I understand what he means, right? This is kind of tough. We've kind of started things off with laying down the stakes for what the top 3 teams are looking like, what the average points should be like in terms of securing yourself a spot. They are pretty much like 2 weeks worth of gaming minimum, so, like, away from catching up from the 3rd place spot, if that makes sense, right? 70 points away from Crazy Raccoon, to be quite specific. And that is rather difficult, and that's like putting it slightly lightly, right? There's 70 points that you need to gain to catch up to 3rd place. That is a perfect record plus a W. You know what I'm saying? Rather difficult, but if any of these teams to do it, I would be rather impressed. Here we go, Fenrich versus Ryukichi, game 1.
Well, the Zodi fans every so often walks back avoiding that big drive rush heavy kick. Very active button. So you get the anti. We'll get the back throw though. Sets up the blockage hand. Really that far. And Ryukichi keeping that at bay. Not like any sort of visitation, but he's getting right back in there. There's the activation. Able to DP in time. Trying to go for the meaty ODTP on the reversal. They're slugging it out.
Forcing himself into burnout. You know what? I like that call, and I like the DI better from Ryukichi. Fenrich now in a dire position. Right, he could get blown away with the DI, but Fenrich, he's holding on to 1 bar right, kind of dangerous. Rainbow Ball out of the corner, excellent call, but Ryukichi doesn't confirm for the rest of the combo. Very interesting. He didn't want to DI, right? Or not DI, sorry. He didn't want to drive rush cancel. It would have put him into burnout.
Keeps the bar for moments like this. Now on burnout. Not an option, though. It's a recovery. That's the option we're looking for. Level 2. Keeps that bar in the pocket for a rainy day. And boy, was it about the shower. Right up for Ryukichi. The Oki fan to land on it. Oof. So I'm talking about air ball, but not catching anything though.
Catching the side swap. Not all the way ready though. We still have the Lightning Beast active. We do get the pickup. Little fella's got to come out to help. He does so. All the way back to the corner. Electricity. Overhead block. Excellent defense from Ryukichi thus far. The knee bombs for the juggle.
Good advancement tool. Needs a fireball, but that's not a lot of damage to really worry about. Oh, he tried to go for it the second time. Ryukichi is more than fine to catch that. Get a punish, knockdown, but once again, burnout has level 2. Burnout with a damn thing. Doesn't matter, the confirm's gonna come through regardless. Straight to level 3, you have built that bar from the very tip. And Ryukichi, even though in burnout, always had some bar at the bottom to back himself up.
Really good anticipation from Ryukichi to go back-to-back strings into Ryo Enbu, catching Fenrich off guard by the second set. Nice work overall, right? That Ryo Enbu is rather difficult to even try to punish, right? Although it is like better with the stock on, I don't believe he even had that opportunity. I still like it being spaced out, hard to punish.
Yeah, especially for Blanca. You got the best light punishes in the business in the first place. And again, another neutral jump, cutting what could come through. Knee bomb, now the slide. Adjusting very well. Caught the recovery, the crouching medium punch though. Here's Fenrich, get the side switch out of the corner. Taking the opportunity to leave when need be.
Oof. Nice and easy work. Ryukichi looking at match point yet again. A commanding round over Fenrich. Life was nearly fully stocked up. Closely, actually, I want to say closer to building level 2 specifically. There we go.
Just adding more and more things, making it hard to come through. As soon as I say that, though, Competitive's curse, big jump in, gets a knocked up in the corner. That's going to be, oh, I thought was going to be a block right there for Fenrich. I thought that was the intention. The bust out has to use quite a bit of bar, but at least he's got the lead now. Oh, can he keep it?
Oh, just a raw bonka ball. Ryukichi off guard. OD fans. I like this life lead that Fenrich is sitting on. The classic press coming through. Activation. Forcing himself. Okay. I like that. The drive reversal. Completely halting at least that first dangerous sequence. What are you on modern? What kind of reaction was that? That was insane. No way.
How ready can you be? We're seeing enhancements. Fenrich is in burnout. Oh, but finds a confirm and a follow-up right after Fenrich still in. I thought it was gonna be over for him. Him in burnout, with Bard utilized, Fenrich able to square it away just a little bit longer. Toss the fan right after.
Oh. Ooh. Ryukichi grabbing something that's way off the mark, by the way. Fenrich being able to command this corner pressure. We do have Little Fella also. Get the activation off of it. So much drive gauge punch from the side of Ryukichi, holding onto that parry throughout the entire string against Fenrich. In burnout, right? Minus, not going to be punished enough off of that drive reversal from the side of Ryukichi. The neutral jump, what a call out against the routine that Fenrich went through off of that lightning beast. No slide, you saw it, gets caught up on startup. Stays
Once
alive.
again, the danger. Putting you in the corner, taking about like half your health, putting himself in burnout, but getting the bar back with the level 2, and then having access to also dealing out some damage with that level 2 as well. The Fenrich way, working out game to game right now. Rikishi not that far off. Fenrich with a fantastic start, going for the double drive rush, the crouch to kick to open things up. Ball to put him up in the corner. OD, it's a follow-up. Yeah, get that Oki going. Oh, the perfect parry, the cross up.
Ooh. Yeah, the difference between the two and how much drive gauge was spent is kind of wild. Ryukichi getting like a conversion and a half against Blanca, or Fenrich's Blanca specifically, and still maintaining the resource is so important, right? Fenrich forced himself to parry, and he does so successfully against the fan pressure.
Parry try to slide, got interrupted, close range fans make it a little bit harder to read, and the stand medium coming through for some damage. Level 1, of course. Enhancement and damage extensions. There's the anti-air. Oh, Jarvis had to kick able to initiate the level 2. Okay, towards the corner. Another guess. Waka-chan able to land. DI will hold it there. Still on the recovery. Hits the OD. This man's wicked. You are wicked for that.
I mean, it makes sense, right? You had Little Fella backing him up. He was going to be safe regardless.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's hell to deal with.
The overhead connect.
Rock Crusher. Now goes for the OD off the air, block a ball. Backs up. Maybe looking for the anti-air, or the air-to-air. Didn't really work out. He gets the DP off. Trying to go for the throw. Air block a ball. This should be a bait. This time it is. And holding Curry gets him the maximum amount of gauge that he can do so in that scenario. Level 1. That gets it done. Fenrich bringing it back to the freak. All because of level 2. The footsies, the baits, everything working out at the very end. And better round starts to Fenrich taking over Ryukichi, getting the revenge. I thought going into this, it was going to be Ryukichi's game to get that W with the ease, if you please, but not against Fenrich, man. He back in business with the Blanca.
Oh, that is.
Oh, that water salty.
That is.
Ooh, I know that water salty.
That is. That is a call out and a half too. That is like a little bit of a slight towards Ryukichi and what his defensive measures are, right? Like Fenrich pulled some things out of the ordinary, right? But funny enough, they were calculated, right? We talk about that OD being highlighted, that OD up ball, right? He was still going to be backed up by Little Fellow regardless, but that alone, I felt like broke Ryukichi towards the very end of the match. You saw how powerful Ryukichi was with this Mai being able to like enforce a lot of pressure with fans within the range where Blanca would want to slide, but it was just so difficult to, right? So hard to tell what to do and react to that. But that was such a good call out. That was so smart from Fenrich, and also just he was guaranteed a backup no matter what. And then making the call out against the level 1, that was like everything Ryukichi had been kind of relying on, right? He had some pretty good reversals on Wake Up against Fenrich during the first 2 games. But it didn't work out for him in the end. It was eventually like a law of numbers kind of thing for Fenrich. It's like eventually I'm gonna be able to get you slipping on one of these level 1s, or even like a wake up rear engine. So, or the uppercut, I should say.
Yeah.
That is an excellent rebuttal from the side of Fenrich.
And honestly, I thought Ryukichi would go up against Takagi in a first of 3 and have the time to switch if need be to like Ken, as we mentioned. Didn't happen. I don't know what you do for the rest of these orders, to be honest. Like, my order for all of this is so different, and I could barely even tell you what I thought Victrix Fabu Gaming should even do in these scenarios. But I really thought Ryukichi would at least be at the anchor position to tie things off if need be. But Eita comes up. You really can't run Moke, I mean, on paper. Chun-Li versus Akuma, probably don't want to run that on paper. Fujimura, maybe, but Eita, I feel like is so powerful right now. It might be kind of hard, because I feel like Akuma can also do pretty well against Mai. You know, on paper, you got the fireballs to contest against her fireballs, if not better. Your Doc can deal with her stand medium and stand fierce. I feel like, you know, the walk-in pressure, the walk speed of the character also allows him to get in against this character before she gets started. Sako, maybe? Ah, man, I don't know. This is hard. It's Eita?
I would love to see Sako run the Sea Viper. Sorry, not Sako, sorry. Fujimura run the Sea Viper. But it's tough because Fujimura has a really good standing record against Takagi. So I'm not sure. I want to say, like, if I were to really pick something, I think Moke and Anchor and Fujimura coming up for Eita Akuma. But he has to pick Sea Viper.
Yeah. But then again, like, Fujimura, he knows that character also. You know, he played some Sea Viper before. He's played on the stream too as well. Oh, this is so difficult. Victrix kind of came in here kind of in a painful way, but it will be the Sea Viper from Fujimura.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
If there's any sort of data we have out there, it's Punk's performance over at the Chengdu CPT. I think there's plenty of data out there, even before like the top 8. I think this makes some pretty decent sense. I think Sea Viper can blow up Akuma's health pretty darn well, and also check the fireballs. Not even just with Seismos. Lately, I've seen a lot of Sea Viper players react to fireball with super jump flame kicks, super jump burn kicks to be specific, and get the punish counter.
Okay.
One of the things I do fear is the lack of Sea Viper's defense right now, but I think her offensive pressure and also the damage output pretty much offsets that. I think the damage output she could get on Akuma specifically, or at least on any character, is substantial enough to warrant this pick against Eita.
It's similar to like Bison, where he doesn't have good defense if you get knocked down, it's damn near over, but your offense is so strong that you're always in the game no matter what. Like, as long as you are standing, you have some way of fighting, and those interactions lead to so much against a 9k health character. And maybe being able to like cancel off like crouching meter kick and things like that allow you to also have more presence than neutral, because it looks like she's a little stubby on things like stand medium and crouching medium punch, but being able to cancel with stand medium kick and crouching medium kick allow you to kind of contest what he wants to do. Not in all ranges, obviously stand fierce and forward fierce are really good from his side of things. And as you mentioned, like the burn kicks over the fireballs means that he can't just run that fireball game like he'd like to so confidently. Even with the Seismo, like if you take a trade, it's in the favor of her more than it is of him, I would assume. So I can see the vision. I can see the vision.
We'll see if he's able to kind of like get his game plan going against the Akuma, right? I think there's a bunch of things that Sea Viper can do. And even also, outside of burn kicks too, there is a reality where Sea Vipers can kind of space out light Thunder Knuckle and go underneath the fireball for a punish counter, and even like from further out you get bigger punishes. I think on punish counter, I think it's +5, but further out you can get it to +6, if I'm not mistaken. So there is a possibility. At most, you can get like +8. At most. And that's rather difficult. But if anyone can do it, I think Fujimura can. Just one little tidbit extra against like fireball characters. Dude, Sea Viper using light Thunder Knuckle against Guile players that like to spam light booms within like certain ranges, it is a godsend, by the way. I have been able to test out and lab it out a bunch, and I'm like, dude, I really enjoy forcing Guiles to second guess max range light punch thunder knuckle. Because if they try to punish and they whiff, because it could be -1 at max distance. If they try to whiff punish with with any sort of lights, it's like, all right, well, you better make that hit because I'll have time to possibly whiff punish you back if they miss time.
And then if you get that punish counter, at the very minimum, you're getting a stand light kick into whatever conversion you want. That leads into like heavy knuckle, thunder knuckle, whatever the extension, for like some Oki, so that you're in. It feels okay. All right. Let me see if you got that spacing, Fujimura. Eita said though, I'm nervous just like last episode. I know Fujimura is a great player, but I'll do my best. You better. Your team needs it. Both teams really need all the points they can handle right now.
There it is.
Just as you mentioned.
We get the punish counter. We do get the follow-up after that as well. Oh, that's wild. You're gonna hit him with the Street Fighter 4? You're like, you wanna re-experience what it was like to be Yukodon back then? I'll hit you with the cross of Tatsu.
Stand light kick. We get the drivers right after. Out of a fist. Should be the finish right now. Eita so far in full control.
You can see it from the side of like Fujimura's face. He was kind of laughing it off. He's like, all right, I'll stop trying to steal my turn back. That was my bad. I'm throwing out a 5-framer. That standing light kick, not gonna be enough. Not gonna be fast enough for Eita. Can't even take to the skies proper either. That cross cut, Eita was homed in on. You got the heavy thunder knuckles. We got the big raid from Liston. What up? You tried to bait out the DP. No, it's still within range.
Man, the range is so good. Knockdown, but even on the Oki, it's to make the right reads. ODP goes to burn out though, too far out. We're gonna do wake up back though. All right, have it burn. Let's get level 2 though. He's so careful. Goes for the get another anti-air. The fake out. Oh, wasn't able to get the anti-air on the back throw.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of throw out like overhead at that specific distance. You don't have enough time to kind of like fake anything out. Either way, like Eita's got it covered. Like normals would cover it, and despite the animation, Sea Viper is definitely grounded on that overhead.
Fireball into the Seismo. Perfect parry, but there's a low right after though. Let's see with the DP. Move that throw. He takes that though. Too far out. Maybe making some committal reads right here, and it's not working out. Into his demise.
Oh my god. This is looking rather free. Eita, 100% ready for this matchup. I think it's more so against Fujimura. Right? Eita's keeping it pretty standard. There it is, finally. Beating out the DP proper with the right angles for that flame kick.
I'm trying to counterpoke with a crouching medium punch with the own crouching medium kick. Fujimura blocking off the corner. OD fireball. For the switch up. So ambiguous. With the damage to that fireball. Reversal jabs. Spit the rest of the bar for the knockdown.
Ooh,
there you go. Level 2.
Kind of expensive, right? Granted, kind of expensive, but totally worth it to survive. Fujimura spinning that bar after the OD flame kick to extend the combo. But now, speaking of damage, we do have Eita on the other side, temporarily at least. You don't get anything off of that, right? That was actually missed it. Was that a flame kick into the fierce, not the fierce, sorry, the punch follow-up?
The knockdown follow-up, right? Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I mean, I think you do get something off of it, my bad. But it was just Eita like backdash. I blinked, I couldn't tell what follow-up there was. Oh.
Switch burn kicks. With the Seismo. Oh, take the turn with the ODDP. The jump heavy kick. Doesn't even get hit with the super. I like the idea. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Eita 2-0. Taking it back to Street Fighter 4. You say you better stay there next time, brother. Stay where it's safe.
As deceptive as that cartwheel is, yeah, that gets blown up by jumps pretty free. Even if you neutral jump it, right? It has like no verticality to it. It's really, really rough. But that's just how it goes, man. I gotta double check that punch follow up from burn kick is plus 23 off of that knockdown, and then her dash is 21. So yeah, she does get plus frames off of that. She does get Oki, but I think it was just Eita like backing away. He did get a backdash out of of that too. I think what's more important right now is Fujimura not really able to force errors upon Eita. Like, I think Viper can be a pretty big punish monster, and by that I mean single hits can lead to disaster. Even if it's a crouching heavy punch out of range for another one, she can get standing medium kick into a full conversion using like medium kick, OD Seismo, super jump cancel burn kick, what have you, into level 1 install. There's a lot of potential with this character. I think it's more so against Fujimura not like giving Eita the right looks in regards to like where her burn kicks were landing. Like she didn't even really try to utilize like the different angles of burn kicks to force errors on Eita's tendencies to cross that DP. Like landing like right in front of him or like right on top of him. Sure, it's like a risk to take, but I think it's like something to kind of enforce early on. But either way, it's kind of tough. I think Eita was hounding down Fujimura's spacing quite well.
Sako comes up to try to save the team captain we haven't seen really play in a long time, usually in the extra position. With the Elena, of all things, Sako comes up. I thought it was going to be Moke, to be honest, but again, we mentioned it's kind of do or die time for these teams. Both these teams sit at the bottom, so losing 40 points or not gaining any points at all is a drastic thing right now. This is back to how it used to be with Victrix Survival Gaming. They used to be farmed. Maybe not nearly as much as they used to be, but this is a moment where they could be farmed for points and give CAG that boost they need to excel. And Victrix maybe hitting the door to leave. By the way, if Sako's been taking a back seat for this long and then coming up to play, there must be a reason, right? There must be a reason of him training in the background, figuring things out for him to play, get ready for league, instead of just being in the extra position to close things out if he needs to be. But the Gaki, I didn't get to watch all of the interview, but I love his mindset. If people don't know, I'll just give you a slight spoiler because I was only able to watch a little bit of it, or at least the preliminary part of it on Twitter. But it was like, Eita approached Tagaki and said, hey, do you want to play a Street Fighter League? I think you're good. And Tagaki was like, I don't know if I'm ready, if I'm good right now as like a player. But he's glad that he took this chance, because honestly, if you wait too long, then that opportunity is gone, right? And he's already proved himself to be good enough to be in part of this team. He's just, it feels like he's always put against people that are like of more maturity and more experience. The experience comes into play a little bit more to edge him out, but he is so close to finding those moments to close things out and get those W's. Today could be the day. Takes down the old head and proves that the future is now. We'll have to see though.
Funny enough, yeah, like I did see that that preview of Daigo's interview with Takagi. You can tell like he's been rather eccentric and rather vocal in regards to like all of his pregame interviews. He's like shouting, he's also cheering his teammates on. He does it because he's mad nervous, right? He was talking about, he would talk about like how he wouldn't get any sort of sleep the day before matchups just because of how nervous and anxious he is. And he even asked, funny enough, I think he's asked like Daigo if like some of the pro players feel that way, and he's like, yeah, of course. Like we all experience our own type of nervousness or anxiety. We all handle it differently. So to each their own. And Takagi is just like, yeah, that's why I'm so vocal. That's why I shout, because it helps me get the nervousness out of the way, and it gives me that much more confidence. So I think that was like the second half of that trailer. I guess the video that was placed on. At least I saw it from Instagram's point of view. But eventually I'll get to it because I think that just got released yesterday, either yesterday evening or this morning. So I can't tell because time zones are hard. But I love the way that he's been playing. I think he's adapted quite well to the current skill level of Street Fighter League. I think if anybody, he's been the rising star that CAG OSAKA needed. I think he's come out with really clutch matches, clutch W's, being in the anchor spot as well. And I think he, with the way he's like progressing, he might eventually be a mainstay for Street Fighter League. I think he's one of the more impressive rookies that we've had, even watching Street Fighter League in general.
The fact that Crazy Raccoon had to get ready for him, obviously Finrich too as well, but had to get ready for him and spend hours to fight this character shows that he is definitely a person to be watching out for. Target on his back. Already starting off very strong with the knee bomb, already has him up in the corner, back medium kick, hella meaty with it. Baits out the ODDP for free, fantastically done. Tagaki yourself, little Waka-chan. OD, reversal. What did you just do there? The hop to get the side switch to get the grip right after? Are you kidding me?
That's wild. Actually wild.
Oh,
the perfect KO. That is quite the statement to make against the veteran. Wow. See how active Takagi is. And it makes sense. Him getting into Lightning Beast. Past the DP? No way, dude. No way he's this ready. Oh, we can force the burnout.
Studious.
Does so successfully. The
Backs
up,
up, slide
These guys all over the place. Oh, come on, dude.
DI.
That's
Don't do it
just
to him like
age
this.
abuse.
That's how you act in a nursing home? My God. Cross up with a DP. Hold on now. Sako to set him up in the corner, but it doesn't matter. Air blockable OD to get the kill against that throw. First thing that's being played when he wakes up is pure offense. Already hopping out of the dang bed. Takagi. This kid is so dang good. To play crouch fierce that close in the first round to get the kill, or that could be risky, be punishable. Like there, right there, but nothing significant from Sako though. Oh my God, this kid's so good.
He's well versed in the matchups, man. He takes this very seriously. He's mentioned that multiple times over. He's really been putting in the work, and you see it. There's very meticulous movements or actions taken to take advantage of like Sakonoko's tendencies, right? Like he tried to uppercut past like the Blanco ball during Lightning Beast, and it was just fast enough to go to like bypass Elena. That was actually pretty sick. But now it's Sakonoko in control. We saw offense. Now let's see the defense. The punish counter is there. Definitely well studied against the Elena's pick so far.
Watch out for the interruption though. It's a stand medium. It's with the DP scratch wheel. Plus frames. Got the setup. Okay. Sakonoko controlling the beast now. Stand like kick drive rush bumper right after it. There we go. Okay, Sako. Better with the Wallsy style.
Gotta take it back, man. Gotta take it back against the kids. Activation into the Lightning Beast. I'm glad that his activations aren't typical, right? He let the OD electricity rock just in case. Let's see if Sakonoko would respond. Then immediately went into a different normal for the activation, forcing the burnout too. So much chip. Good punish.
Great to avoid that same medium off.
I love him spending the level 3 now. The damage output pretty good, but also getting yourself back into drive gauge territory, or at least recovered with the drive gauge, even more.
Absolutely. Oh, was able to get the follow-up. No big deal though. Sako still has the control right now with the lighter buttons. The spacer might be a little bit harder for Takagi to get through. The drive rush up with like a drive rush crouching medium kick, stand light kick, something like that. Block the ball, not working out.
Ooh.
DRC.
The knee bomb's countered. It's hard, man. Like even trying to counterpoke right now. Takagi's just so active. Rather ambiguous towards approach too. Knee bomb's been getting a lot of mileage for him though.
It's like searching for it when he doesn't expect it. Be able to clip a button preemptively. Checking what Sako wants to do. He tries to play like a light button. Thinking, slide. OD reverse on the wake up. Spins the bar, but job well done to do so. Back walk, crouch, shoot, kick, the get the shimmy. Game and round up Takagi.
It's so difficult for Sakonoko to actually get active. Even then, trying to press a button in between. Couldn't tell you what that was. Sakonoko does get blown up. Nothing too dire up until this point. We do get a conversion off of the Lightning Beast. Set up little fella. These routes have been sick. Takagi still maintaining the positioning off of that route. Little fella.
Still there.
Perfect parry off of that. That was sick too. The anti-air. Yo, Takagi is ready.
There's the driver to the stand medium. Okay, target combo to OD. Right on horn and just hits the brakes. Takagi's definitely been really active on defense. Like him backing off a little bit, but the drive gauge getting a little bit depleted. Forcing the hell parry from Sako. Overhead, trying to stop him from coming through. Cannot stop this wild child. Oh, so you can with the super. The reactions are still there.
He even did the nose scratch. My man was like, yeah, I got those reactions still. Immediately after the level 3, he did the nose scratch. He's like, still got it. That was tight. If you guys saw the player cam, as soon as he let that level 3 rip, that was godlike from Sakonoko. What a beast, man.
Still in this. More chances to like corral this character with like the lighter buttons and things like that, especially when Takagi tries to walk up. Not faltering on defense nearly as much as I say that. The stagger step with the back beat kick connects. The counter pokes have been a lot more consistent. You see Sako understand that he's standing up. He's been landing so many overheads, so that's why the stand mediums are able to hit as they should.
Take a little bit of a break. Here's Takagi, not as active as he was before. Does get punished for the long range sweep. Elena's limbs even longer for that punish. Rhino Horn, scratch wheel, plenty of damage on board. The frame kill, not enough. Takagi, not caught standing, by the way. Gonna be dribbled down to the next round. Sakonoko looking much more confident. The amount of control that he's had and also the life lead that he had, really dictating that round well.
Curves have been on point. Even around the same medium, the overheads have been great. Now the perfect parries, even better. All about that corner control, that corner carry. Rolling nothing, delay a little too long, but Tagaki's able to find his run on time. Side switch, jump, medium. Oh, that was so sick and so smart. Starting a little bit more drive, or excuse me, level 2 gauge right there. Perfect parry.
The reaction, the jump in.
Woo! Not a mistake, Sako. Oh, what a play. Been a lot of back heavy kick, so that crouch fierce was everything.
Oh, he tried to Rhino Horn to punish the activation, or at least to throw out of the doll. Little fella's coming in. We get the punish counter. It's for the side switch and in burnout. You thought you could get away with murder yet again? Old man reactions, fella.
Yep, still got it. Still got it. Sako with the reactions, perfect parries, the supers, the rebuttals have all been great. And before that even happens, he's kind of corralling his character, controlling the neutral. And you start to see a little bit more of like the mistakes from Tagaki every so often. You talked about the sweep being swept against that. He's risking it for like the crouch fierce, which before was kind of like a great poke tool. Now there's a little bit more punishment coming that way. And it feels like at the very end, Tagaki's like, I'm gonna try to enforce the issue with like a Blanca ball or some sort of opening. That just gives Sako the opening to hit his super or get the lead up right after. These are just leading to moments where Sako's able to put more control and less for Tagaki to come through. But also the defense against like Lightning Beast is really good, against little Blanca-chan. I mean, yo, Sako still got it. I'm sorry, man. I thought you was going to get cleaned up, Sako. Get farmed for points. Doing the farming right back. Like that from Sako.
We've talked about him being like an execution god, right? That also constitutes his defensive execution. Like, I think him making the proper reads against Takagi's, I guess, I want to say like his offensive strings. Him making the right calls against electricity for perfect parries. And even like outside of strings, him making the right calls and reactions towards like Blanca Ball from mid-range is rather impressive. Like, he's got it, man. Although he may not be the one kind of claiming a lot of the points for his team, I think his reads and execution defensively is very scary, right? As long as he has that, like, as long as he understands like what's coming up and he has the parries on lock, it's gonna be a really tough time for Takagi, no matter like what different route he throws at him so far. That's what it feels like too. And understanding like offensive tendencies is a pretty big deal as a veteran, right? It's not even just perfect parries. There was a moment where Takagi did a back medium kick and Sako immediately responded with an OD uppercut, thinking Takagi would have his way. There have been multiple times where Takagi would like try to steal turns with back medium kick, or like back medium kick, crouching medium kick, etc. Right? He's always done medium to medium, and that doesn't lead to a true frame trap against Elena. So there's a lot of understanding going on from Sakonoko's behalf, and I think it's forcing Takagi to now like pump the brakes a little bit, right? Now he went for a strike throw make off of the back medium. And off of a drive rush version, he is allowed to go for another one. So kind of tricky stuff, and Sakonoko still withstanding the pressure, being able to initiate like so. Scratch wheel into, Rhino Horn in the scratch wheel, excuse me.
What do you type, chat? So, a little bit less than 5 gauge. It's again, it's over button that close. As long as we play a little medium lights in that range. Try to shake the turns off though. Ball, P, the lead are coming through for some. We're working before are now doing so in the super. No.
Whatever Cola said, I agree with you, buddy. I definitely agree with Auto-Tune Cola for sure. It looked kind of hype, but either way, it was that energy was definitely not misplaced. You know, Sakonoko looking at match point, taking full control of the matchup, and again, you get the corner positioning. You get the ender as well. Rather difficult to call out. We do see the parry coming in from Takagi. Not a perfect one of that, but at least trying to maintain drive cage at least. We do get the lightning beast coming on over. Good defense so far from Sakonoko, being able to track down the beast. Forcing the burnout against Sakonoko. Do you go for a sneaky drive impact? Delaying the back medium kick! Hella damage incoming. Very close out of burnout is Sakonoko. Can he withstand the pressure and the chip? He does so successfully. Just about even. Sakonoko still maintaining a slight life lead. He uses reactions against him, and the double knee bomb again coming in the clutch. Takagi stays alive. Those knee bombs have been coming in clutch. I think that's the one thing that Sakonoko hasn't been able to stop consistently so far, right? As it stands right now, we do get the raw activation into Lightning Beast. Kind of expensive. Sakonoko actually runs into the Blanca Ball raw. Not his fault, but trying to go for that OD scratch wheel. Here comes Takagi. Set up little fella. What's the block gonna be looking like? Doesn't exist. Sakonoko's like, I'm playing the young man's game now. I ain't trying to block. Spending the level 3. Just getting himself out of the corner. And the momentum, regaining some of that drive gauge. Still at the deficit, by the way. Does get the punish counter against the roundhouse.
Fantastically done. Big wallsy button. Hopefully I'm back. If I find a whip punish, I get that crouch fierce. Oh, nice. Get back right in time for the confirm from Sakonoko. Okay, DP Ender can't finish it off just yet. Tick throw. Leg lock is going to do it. Sako taking it over Takagi, bringing their team back to that final game. I came back at the right time. I cannot believe, though, overall, Sako, with the reactions, the rebuttals, the defense, the offense too as well, denying what Takagi has been structuring his offense so differently than other Blanca players, is still able to win. God dang, Sako. And that just warms my heart to see Sako doing some work. You know, I feel like sometimes we see Sako, he's usually more of that captain type lead to kind of give them advice and things like that. But it's good to see the captain come through for the combat. Just the adjustments overall we've seen with the supers, the reactions, and even that was smart too. You don't want to have to block that whole parry because you're losing drive gauge at that point. You'd rather hit the super as a rebuttal. So like there's some proper defensive options that he's utilizing too as well. And always having bar in his pocket to be able to fight back. That put Takagi also in burnout, got the fault right after. Again, the biggest problem that I feel like that Takagi has is you're fighting these old heads that just have a different understanding, like a longer set or how to adjust themselves faster. And that's just experience. You know, I feel like Takagi, he's so close to be able to have that same sort of mentalness, but he needs to have more time playing the game. Sako's been around longer, maybe double the age he's been even playing versus how much he's been alive. It was Oreo on the C Viper and Moke to finish things off. How do you feel about this matchup as like Viper player when you play like Chun-Li? How does this usually go for you?
I think we're expecting the Mai, right? Or no, I'm sorry. It's going to be Moke. My fault. I don't know why I thought Ryukichi was coming up to bat. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had a decent amount of matchup experience against the Chun-Li's on ranked and also some custom lobbies. I don't feel like Viper necessarily has like an advantage over Chun. I think the fireballs are going to be like, I'm gonna say like not a really big tool against the Viper. Like the threat of Seismo is great because that fireball is rather slow, and also being able to thunder knuckle past it or even like reaction super jump flame kick. That's a pretty big deal against Chun-Li. But I think Chun-Li's pressure against C Viper is massive, right? I think C Viper suffers from that same fate of like facing off against anybody with a normal that can be applied as a meaty. That's plus, right? She's very susceptible to those types of meaties. Like you have to understand, like her her defense is very lackluster. Sea Viper does not have the defensive tools proper to fight off against meaty pressure that's plus. With that said, though, I also think like she could kind of hold her own in neutral. I think her medium kicks are great whiff punishing tools against Chun-Li, both standing and low. The caveat is you have to have the execution to go into either OD Seismo for a regular hit in order for it to connect, or regular Seismo if a counter hit connects. Punish counter, same rules apply. But other than that, I think Uryo would have that type of execution down at this point. So Moke has to be really cognizant of how he wants to approach his, I guess, poking game, because Sea Viper not having like the, I guess, best walk speed, I think it's average. He could still be outside of range of like the dagger, right? Medium punch, like back or forward medium punch is a pretty big poking tool for Chun-Li. So yeah, I think looking at it right now, I still feel like it's right down the middle, just because it's underdeveloped, right? But just from watching Uryo play Sea Viper on CFN, and also like my personal experiences of just training mode with another person, Sea Viper and Chun going through like the tool set of what she can or cannot do.
That makes sense to me. I like how you highlighted the fireball game, which is like a prominent thing for Chun-Li players. Like, I feel like if you can delete the fireball game off the table for her to suffer from initiating, that's a big part of the job well done. But then the normals come into place, as you mentioned, and you have to deal with the dagger normals, the stand fierce, crouching medium kick. But then you have whip punish tools on your side of things with Sea Viper. We'll see how this develops. I'm curious to see how Uryo's going to play this in terms of like what butts he's going to be expending, how much strive gauge he's going to be expending to as well. What is the pacing of fireballs? Because Moke is the type to use more like OD fireballs than other Chun-Li players. I feel like he's more willing to use that bar to initiate. Now, that could be so reacted to with a burn kick, maybe even the Thunder Knuckle, possibly. But it'll be a lot harder to if you have a better economy of fireballs. But we'll see. I'm really curious to see what Moke is going to be bringing to the table here. Uryo definitely looked like he was pretty excited and ready to fight. I'm sure Moke is going to say something crazy, as he usually does. But yeah, man, first to two, I'm glad that we changed it. Also, by the way, to first to two instead of first to one. First to one, like first to death, was great for like the dramaticism, but like it's good to see more of this matchup develop in a first to two. Uryo says, "I'm happy to be able to play Sea Viper again. The team is doing really well. Takaki was unfortunate, but the elder players will cover for him and save the day."
That's the nicest I've ever seen. Actually, no, that was from the other side, right? That was from Uryo. But in rebuttal, for Moke's interview, I don't know if he said anything like dastardly, because mostly he kind of says something like snarky and remark, but it sounded like he was pretty nice about it. I am not too sure. I'm actually kind of curious to see like what his response was. Okay.
Usually from Moke, yeah.
Oh, so Moke definitely understands that there are fans watching, so he's not going to be as blunt as he usually is. He said, "We have a public live stream cheering for us, so I'll do my best for the team and the fans." Alrighty, nice work.
I know what's behind that smile though, Moke. You can't fool me. You can't fool me, brother. I know what kind of dastardly cat you are, and the way you play. Okay, but come on now. You know, he's one of those Chun-Li players that's a lot more active and aggressive. He's willing to get close to burnout, sometimes being a burnout, because he understands he can back up and play those big long buttons that she's got. But against a burnout queen like Sea Viper, that may not be the best way to play. We'll see if that gets taken advantage of. Either way, final match between these two teams for today. Uryo, Moke, trying to play that button. I'll play something else, actually. Moke able to press in between. Toss him.
Ooh. Rather aggressive start. Ugh, no, Uryo. Pretty huge execution error. That Thunder Knuckle is going to get severely punished. Moke is definitely going to take that. What did he call out? You can't. You can't do it. You can't do it. Focus force right in front of Moke like that, he will absolutely wait it out and react to your dash. Drive rush forward, catches the low. Already in a really bad positioning for Uryo and that Sea Viper. Forward throw now. This is the exact thing we were talking about, right? We prefaced it with having bad defense. That's going to be a turn for Moke, and now the punish counter. It's all downhill right now for Uryo. Back-to-back throws. How do you deal with that without spending your super?
Oh, minus frames. Toss him again. One more hit. Uh-oh, that fireball. Punishable. Get that back, though. Be able to switch positions instead of going for the damage. Couldn't go for the anti-air, reversal jab and a fireball. Okay, not letting him leave the corner without giving up his life. Man, that was pure pressure and some execution errors from Uryo, which you don't typically see. I don't know if that's need to be warm or what have you, but either way, Moke, pretty dominant so far.
I also think good recognition from the side of Moke, right? He saw normal go into size mode. That's not going to be a true block straight. So being able to interrupt it is pretty important. Get the air legs now. Back into this next round, Moke looking at a pretty sizable start against Uryo so far. Trying to press buttons after that, not going to be allowed. Uryo stressing out right now. And I think Moke understands the objective, right? Being able to enforce a lot of pressure, putting Uryo underwater most of the time. And even some of those brain kicks, right? Although they are random and all left for wild, Uryo most of the time loses a turn off of that.
Yeah, he's trying to find an opening. It's not really happening too much. The ODDP does happen. Okay, the deficit spends the rest of his drive gauge. So that's level 2. Oh, the dash up confirm of all things. Moke, word, he backed off to get right back in. So pardon me, I forgot my hat.
Good anticipation for the size mode, by the way. Everything looking real Moke thus far. Now on match point, being able to interrupt that drive rush forward, that's the knockdown. That trade-off is better! Oh, I think he could have gone crouching medium punch to Link. Uryo not ready for it. Very close to burnout, by the way. Moke forcing it with the Hazanshu. This is looking all Moke again. Set up with the fireball. Chip damage on the way through. Uryo getting stopped mid-air. Dear God Almighty, Moke is looking fabulous.
He also have that perfect range. The confirm, though. Spends every bit of bar right now to get some damage going and to get his drive gauge back in the green. Most important thing, more cancels. Excuse me, that kills. Pardon me. Let me not even think about what needs to happen next because the round is over. Well, it's finished. A W. We're still in the game and also Moke. Not with a ton of bar at the bottom, so that wasn't a bad expenditure at all.
And that was such a gutsy call out too, because like I feel like at that range, I don't know if he was safe. I'm not gonna lie. Did you get the punish counter again? Moke back to back throws. See Viper just falling susceptible to it. What are you supposed to do? Uryo taking multiple throws over. You might just take another one. And another. Oh, he got hit. But it's such a tall order. Uh-oh. You can't do that. It's not 4. No way. Oh, you let him jump over you for free. What are you doing? What are you doing over there? That's counter hit. You can't just get the throw. You're too far, Uryo. I think that's more of lack of practice with the character. Uryo, he got the Thunder Knuckle, but that didn't put him close enough for a throw or a back throw. And also, letting Chun-Li jump over you for free like that was rather rough. I think he was in the perfect angle to still catch that lightning, or sorry, the heavy Thunder Knuckle right above C Viper. That is just rough. Like I don't think Moke was ready for it. To be fair, I think Moke just consistently throwing out rock, doing the rock paper scissors was fine. Like him consistently grabbing Uryo is a totally fine tactic until Uryo can find a situation for it. This right here, right? Just letting him jump over. You were definitely within range. You're right to get that Thunder Knuckle.
Maybe he was scared of playing a new character. Oh, you're right. Maybe that could have been an option that he woke up with, or went for at least, to catch him. You like a punish counter and follow up, so possibly. But like, I guess that's the issue of playing like a new character. You're not. You can do these things in like labbing scenarios, or you can do this in ranked. But it comes time your team needs to win, to clutch out. Your hands don't always work, or your mind doesn't work with your hands at that point. So you're just kind of like, this. I would like to do this, but I'm not gonna be able to do this until I'm solidified with the character. On the other hand, as you mentioned, if you're Moke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, keep going with the things that are working. And I think that worked out pretty well for him, especially in the first game. Regardless, Vicious Fabu Gaming winning at the very end. Wow. Don't expect this at all. Not my pick.
It was going to be one of these teams. It was definitely going to be one of these teams between the two, right? But Victrix Fabu Gaming getting 30 points to their name, boosting them up to at least 140. And also from CAG Osaka, 20 points to their name, 130. Not bad. At least it wasn't 10. But we got to give praise to Sakonoko where it's due. right? Are they saying Oji-san? But anyways, 30 points to Victrix Fabu Gaming. I am kind of curious to see like where that really places them, at least in contention for top 3 spots. They still have 2 more weeks to play after this, as we conduct our winning interview. I am kind of curious to see like where they're gonna be at going forward. It really depends, right, on what crazy Raccoon does. More or less, they are in the 3rd place position with 180 points, but it's only a 10-point differential between them and Nagoya and NTPOJA.
Happy to see Sako win, to be honest. I was happy to see Sako do work. And in general, maybe it's kind of late, but it's still very doable. You know, so I think it's still doable for Victrix Fabu Gaming at this point. And if Sako's implemented, they have a way better shot than if not. You know, having a weak link in the team right now, Street Fighter League, is detrimental. Obviously, we've seen that like in the exposition not really working out for some of these players and things like that. Everybody has to be at the ready. So if Sako's at the ready and everybody else is, you know, up to form, there is a chance they can make it to the playoffs. Rikichi says, I lost, but the team won. I was really happy, but I'll do my best next time. Sako screaming, what have you done? Honestly, I thought Rikichi was going to switch to Ken when things were going a little dicey with Mai. I wouldn't mind him switching over to Ken because that matchup, we talk to people like Big Mo and them, they're like, yeah, fighting Ken sucks. So I thought that was something that he had prefaced before that he was going to do now, but didn't do. Maybe next time.
Talking about Big Mo Dilly?
Yes, sir.
I've definitely seen him.
Best block in the U.S.
I've definitely, alrighty. I've definitely watched him play that matchup, and I was definitely like, man, it looks kind of rough. But I definitely like saw what he was doing. I'm like, yo, Mo, come on, man. He be coming into Triumph's streams afterwards, and he'd be explaining himself, and I'm like, come on, son. What you mean, bro?
So yeah, you problem type beat sometimes.
Sometimes, man. I'll be honest. Sometimes. But he's got it. I believe him.
Yeah. All right. Fujimura said, I lost. Ryukichi lost, but I couldn't believe we got 30 points back on the home side. But when people lose to Ada, he says it until he dies, so I'm worried about that as well. So he's like, Ada's going to message me, remind me every time I see him that he lost to him. So don't ever lose to Ada is what he's trying to say. Sako said, great that we were able to win, just really happy. And again, I'm really happy to see Sako get informed of this character, actually be an addition to the team besides just being like that strongest spirit, leading the charge, leading the team as a captain, actually putting his foot down when he needs to, and winning with his character. You know, as Elena definitely developing in the right way, and being able to fight Tagaki was like, that was like the perfect, I feel like, push, I think, for him to show that he is like capable of being out in Street Fighter League and not just an addition in the background. Moke also said, great that we won, but I was regretting the last scene. I should have done rush jab or drive rush jab, but it's all good now that we won. Honestly, once again, rock. If they don't stop it, then is what it is. And C-Viper, many means to stop a lot of things in general, so why not keep going for rock?
It's hard to kind of contest. Like, I've definitely seen some answers to it where they would do just jump instant burn kick to blow up the throw option. I think I like that more than backdash in some cases. Sometimes you might not be fast enough for like a punish counter. I actually don't know what her backdash speed is like. But yeah, I mean, like, it is a risk to take, but at least you get somebody, you get like your turn somewhat, right? Being able to guess against the throw like that. It's all risky at the end of the day, to be fair. Like, it doesn't take away from the fact that C-Viper's defense is very lackluster. And honestly, she deserves it. I'm not gonna like downplay it. I think C-Viper deserves to have that kind of defense because of her offensive capabilities. I'll say that now. And I'll keep saying it because she does a ton of damage still. So take it as you will.
Yeah, I agree. That's the same thing with Bison. Let him have his offense. If his defense is like that, you know, leave him alone. As much as I joke about that, leave him alone. He's fine. Moke also said he had great practice with the Viper, but he couldn't remember who it was. And then Aru was screaming, it was a Fujimura, he's right in front of you. So, you know, Fujimura definitely gave him that practice he needed to keep playing rock. And Sako says, we still have a chance. We gotta get that 40 points next time. We'll do our best. That's a hard, tall order to ask, but a lot more doable now that Sako is a part of the team in terms of a full part of the team. If everybody can get up there, they might be able to have a shot at getting that 40 baller that they need to stay in the game for the playoffs. We'll see what happens, though.
It does feel like there's like somewhat of a fighting chance between like Victrix Favu Gaming and making it into third place, but it really all depends on this final matchup, right? We could see a 30-10, we could see a 40-0, but if it goes down to 30-20, that really dampens their chances as there's only 2 more weeks of regulation play. But as it stands right now, we got matchup number 3 coming up real soon. It's gonna be Nagoya NTPOJA in the away side, facing off against Crazy Raccoon on the home side, right? Both respectively with 190 points and 180 points to their current position of 2nd and 3rd. Quite the hill to climb for the rest of the teams. Just to remind you all, obviously, we have a lot to talk about in the realm of Street Fighter League Japan, especially our sponsors, for Milo actually being one of them. Really cool to see them kind of like stepping up their game also. Like they've been very much so a part of a lot of the events in Japan. I've had the luxury of being able to like try one of these out in person over at EVO Japan and also EVO Las Vegas, right? That top right, I want to say like the gold stick with all the multicolored buttons, that was debuted over in EVO Las Vegas, right? If you guys ever want to check out all of their products and what their website's all about, be sure to scan that QR code, right? They have like a plethora of different designs, but more importantly, I think ergonomically, I think it's really a good fit for a lot of players from all ranges that actually want to play on joystick. You got like the wrist rest, pretty important. I think the weight of it all is a pretty solid amount to keep sturdy on your lap. And also it's a retractable USB cable, as you can see at the very top, right? They could go, you can kind of like pull it out. Has a pretty good length to it. I cannot remember exactly specifics, but also it has a handle on it. It also has a latch on it, so you could put like a lanyard on to have it like hang around your body like a sling. So pretty convenient in terms of like having it travel like a travel stick, but also the joystick is detachable, by the way. There's a compartment underneath the Vermillo Casa, or is it Kasai? I can't remember. Either way, there's a compartment on the bottom where you could like put the lever in the stick itself so that it's easier to travel with, like put it in a bag if need be, right? So I'm actually pretty excited to pick one of these up when I go back to Japan. I have actually my eyes on it. I am going to get one planned out and customized, but I'm really excited to try this out just because I think it looks cool and it fits perfectly on my lap. I've really enjoyed this product.
Looks like, again, a stick that's made for fighting game players by fighting game players. Like it really feels like they like understood the assignment when it comes to what we need, what we're looking for, even outside of like putting on the stick itself, like the quality of the stick. It's just like the travel aspect. That's a big thing. Being able to detach the joystick and put it underneath and not have that thing sticking out of a bag. Like that is fantastic overall. Like that would help me so much in terms of getting back into levered play. But you know, shouts out to them too. You know, we saw them over at EVO too as well. I saw a bunch of players using those from like all different types, not even just pro players, other players as well, also supporting it. So like if you see players walking around with that stick at EVO of all things, putting their faith into that product, you know it's probably pretty good. At that point, it's probably pretty dang good. So shouts out to them again to have so many different features that are like so fighting game player specific that they understood the struggles that we have. They're like, I'll take care of you. Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, they're showcasing the bottom compartment, right? Like easily customizable, like being able to take off that plate to have access towards like your JLF or whatever specific joystick you have. You're able to kind of like make it even more compact by hiding the lever in it. So really good decision making overall. We talked about the retractable USB cable, right? It does sit in place if need be if you pull it to the side. Initially, if you pull out the cable to extend, it'll definitely like stay out in place. It'll lock in. There's a mechanism that locks it in place. If you pull it again, that's what causes it to retract.
Yeah.
So really overall, like pretty solid decision making in regards to the design. And then we talked about that lanyard, being able to like hook it up to the sides, carry it around so that you're not like holding it by the handle. The fact that there even is a handle, pretty damn cool. I love that stick. I definitely want to get my hands on it. What's also really cool, this event coming up real soon in about 2 more days in Tokyo. The Red Bull BC1 finals for all the B-boys and B-girls out there. If you guys happen to be in Tokyo, please check this out. It looks damn cool. I actually saw a preview of it on Instagram randomly for the first time. Dude, I feel like it's going to be a packed house. I can't wait to check out all the replays on it and see who actually takes it down this year. It's got me kind of invested, like low-key. I really enjoy the fact that they have these big collaborations and also hip-hop eccentric. Either way you spin it, we got our marquee matchup coming up real soon between Nagoya NTPOJA and Crazy Raccoon. We'll be going through that real soon. Hope you guys have been enjoying yourselves. We'll see you right after this break. Stay tuned.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
おしっかりが落ちる。まだいける。全然あるマジである。おしバンドする。オッケーナイス。おいあるぞ。そうね。
バーンとこの状況。
つめ。はいナイス逆転。勝つぞ。
差し返しの下が
うまい。
ここでバーニングヒット潰した。さあこの状況は
マジ？
と俺をため切った。
バーンアウトはまずい。
さあこれでバーンと
SFL じゃないフィンリッチには。
さあこれ捕まり方次第では危ない状況。
ジャンプをガチの警戒して、
おおやる。うわやる。マジ。そこで現人。
今カウンターの表示が出ていた。
はい。
マジどっちにする？これがフェンリッチ。
使う。で、結構ここから。
ではまだ打撃
空中ぐらい。
小崎の強い。
よっしゃー。なんでもナイス。
カズノコクリムゾンバイパーお願いします。
いいんだな。
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 はい。
ナイスゴール。はい。
それ
なるほど。
はい
怪しいけどいいよ。減ったからいいよ。はい、
でもうまい。
はいリーチだよ。
だったら勝ち。
入った簡単なやつ。これ余裕っしょ。
入ってこねえわ。音質えぐい。お前が
マジあの時見るやん。
そんなにうまいのあなた。はいそれ下段なんすよね。はいいいよ。はい押せないよ。
ナイス。カジュパ。
はいあ足りるの。いや3点が足りる。
竜巻。
おい早投げ。いけ端行けば。そういうこと中盤じゃない。いった使え絶対使え。
いったそうだね。
1でもいくか。
セースボレンダ。
わかんねえこれ。
戦争が終わり。
OD セースもいいんじゃない。
電話になってしまうので。
でも回復できそうか。
そうです。何回とか。わあ。
おっしゃ負けた。何それ。
もうやばいわ。最後何してるかわからんかったな。
電波にすぎやろ。
Nagoya, NTPOJA, Crazy Raccoon rounds out our final match of the night. It's going to be a banger. Top spots in the playoff contention, but maybe things might get switched up. We'll just have to see. My name is Senkola. Join with Vicious to give you all the action. The way NTPOJA, I'm going to start things off. Let's kick it off. The Daredevil Bounty Hunter, nothing guilty about his play at all. Akuma, that was spectacular. Mochi doing a lot, going well with the Goki. He's showing out this season. It's great to see. Also, from Toyama is Otani. Still on the kid, still cooking with that character. Very fiery with his approach. Keep up the heat today. The Kung Fu Fanatic, excuse me. I would say words right now, but I can't say that. It's Seiya right there. One of the best Chun-Lis in the business. I confirm a god. I confirm also one more thing. This guy's not lost a single game just yet. It's the hammer of justice that is KB, and that B, he's standing for business. Nagoya NTPOJA in the top spot when we came into the day. Let's see if they can keep that same sort of energy all throughout their matches.
Yeah, KB has been the hammer for this team. That is for damn certain. This guy is on fire. I don't know what Seiya's doing, but I'm not going to try to imitate him. I'll tell you what. But coming up next for the away side, boss, we got Crazy Raccoon stepping up to the plate when it comes to greatness, when it comes to top-tier teams. This is definitely one that is in contention for it. Currently in third place, just 10 points behind Nagoya NTPOJA. Rather excited to see this composition return for another season. Obviously, it's been 8 weeks. What am I saying? Let's get into it. Crazy Raccoon starting things off with the epitome of judgment himself, Papo Bonchan. I wonder what character he's going to be playing today, actually. Followed right after, the one loved by all fighting games, Kazunoko. Also curious to see what character he delivers. 2 powerhouses so far. Let's make it a third. We got the Asura coming in from Shuto. Wondering if he's going to be bringing in that Ryu. Last but not least, it's going to be the devilish strategist, Dogura. He needs to come back with those Toguro glasses, man. He needs to show off those bad boys every single week. I'm a big fan of that. But either way, big fan of this team, big fan of the players behind them. Obviously, I am absolutely ecstatic about the character selection that they have under their belt right now. So we'll see. This is the biggest question going into it. Obviously, marquee matchup. This is one of the matchups to watch throughout the entirety of the season for Division S. It's just a matter of choice now. Who's going to be going up against who? Is it going to be any sort of like repeat of the matchups they had in week number 3 in terms of like player to player? And will new characters come to rock out the matchups for Crazy Raccoon's side? In the meantime, Otani sticking with the Ken. He's going to be first up. Not necessarily the best start, or at least the best record currently this season, but Seiya's having a phenomenal rebuttal. KB looking so difficult to take down with how many wins he has under his belt, whether it's in any other position outside of the anchor spot, but also he's been doing a great job of accumulating 20 after 20 after 20. Then Mochi, surprisingly on the bench. Now he's had a phenomenal evolution from past season to this season.
I like this order overall because like you're getting Otani ready for the playoffs and getting him more informed. Mochi, he's already there as you mentioned, so it makes sense to kind of see him in the bench beyond just like matchups or player matchups or whatever. So I don't mind this order at all, but it's gonna be Bonchan coming up first with the Sagat. Okay, so matchup I want to see a little bit more because I know the fireballs can be kind of annoying for Ken to deal with as they are in a lot of matchups, but there are things, or there's moments where you can outrange the likes of Sagat with your heavy kick. You walk back, you can let him whip that crouching punch that he loves to use, hit that heavy kick, the punish counter. But I feel like as things get developed with Sagat, I start to see more people implement more things with the character to stabilize him. I was watching Problem X this morning. He used like a lot of stand light kick to set up for step kick, for the forward light kick. And get a punish counter. When people get annoyed, they try to play a button. At least he's getting a counter hit, or if they're too far out, he's getting a punish counter. So you start to see the development of the character, more positivity around the character, depending on who you ask, maybe not so much. But I'm starting to see the ideation of how to play Sagat in this game, and people are starting to get informed of how to play him in 6 instead of how they played him in 5 or 4. They're leaving those old school ideas to the wayside and getting in with the new stuff, the new style.
I would agree with that. I think we've had that conversation before when we talk about like Sagat having to be played a different way, right? He's not going to be like the zoner archetype that we're used to. Like, he was like a good hybrid of like zoner and also powerhouse in like previous iterations. I think more so in 4 than he was in 5. Like, I don't know how much of a powerhouse. I don't recall how much of a powerhouse he was in 5, but I do understand that like his Tiger Shot game was phenomenal, or a pretty decent one at that, because he also had V-trigger behind it if need be. But in this version of the game, he's not as like fireball heavy, right? And for good reason. I think like everything else he has in his pocket, or else everything else he has in his kit is pretty good for both frame traps, setting up spacing traps, and also that big damage. I still think like him having access to damage is pretty crucial, and I'm glad that he does have that damage output, but it's just through different means. And it is rather difficult. I feel like he doesn't necessarily have like the Street Fighter 6 mechanics going for him. Like, I don't know if I feel like his drive rush is potent enough, although his limbs kind of like compensate for that. But there are certain moments where like him reaching out with drive rush doesn't necessarily lead to as much success as the other characters.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion to it.
It's not. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, like in terms of like him utilizing like drive rush or like drive rush extensions, they're not as powerful. But one benefit that he does have is he gets quite a bit of corner carry without using drive gauge. Like if you are able to find the confirms and some of your knockdowns and things like that, you don't have to use as much drive gauge as other characters. You're not as drive thirsty as like a Chun-Li or a Marisa, for example. And that's going to offset by not being able to interact as much as you'd like to, by doing like drive rush button or whatever. Drive rush stand medium is going to be great, but the other buttons maybe not as strong and powerful. But that being said, again, as you mentioned, the damage output is so big for him, and he gets a lot more off his knockdowns, where before in 5 he did not. When you talk about not remembering if he was a powerhouse, that's because in 5 he was not a powerhouse. He'd hit you and be like, okay, we're back to neutral. Great. There's nothing after this I have to worry about. I'm chilling, I'm cool. I'll get with a DP, whatever. If I jump in, I'll get my win after that. So I can definitely see the evolution of this character, and it's partly because of what people asked in 5, getting in 6. You just can't have the fireball game on top of that because it'd be way too much. And Bonchan's figuring out ways to play the character effectively in this game. Now, Otani, on the other hand, has not updated in full the firmware of how to play Ken. We talk about this quite a bit. Saw a lot of drive rush up, jab, and things like that. He's so relying upon, it feels like sometimes a little bit too often, the meta that we've seen previously, and you can't really do that. You see a lot more walk forward button and things like that, backstep stand fierce from the newer side of Ken players, and like how Tokido's able to access his victories and things like that. Otani isn't there just yet. I think that's for the reason why they're playing him right now, so he can figure that out. Or maybe he has. He's going to showcase it in this match. Otani in the interview says, I was expecting him, but I'm still surprised. I'm confident. I know Aru will cheer for me. And Aru says, good luck. A little bit of commentary bias. I see that. It's okay.
I mean, he needs it, right? I feel like Otani's got so much potential going for him with how strong he was right out the gate with Street Fighter 6. I think his understanding of like how to play a game is definitely up there. But for some reason, it's fallen by the wayside in regards to like adapting towards the meta. I think there's like certain moments where like people kind of like stick to their guns a little bit too much of like what worked in the past. Like I'm also kind of reluctant to say like what is going on in the training camp for Nagoya NTPOJA to prepare Otani up, right? Like he did have talks about like preparing for the Akuma matchup with Mochi, but you saw the results from the previous matchup. I think in week number 6, I think that conversation had happened. It was like Otani versus Eita, and he got blown out of the water. Like Eita 2-0'd him quick. And they were like, I think it was almost 4 rounds straight. So although I do say that, like he's found his rebuttal. Like Otani got in his W against Fujimura's Sea Viper, and I think that was more so against Fujimura testing on a new character. But it got Otani quite emotional. But that just shows how much he cares for the game, and I think that's a pretty good sign that he's trying to like improve himself and find these Ws. However, going up against Bonchan, this is kind of difficult. I think for the matchup itself, I think Sagat's reach is pretty good for when Ken loses his turn and tries to like space himself out for throwing out some of these heavy punches, or even like try to throw out standing medium kicks too. I think Sagat's range is going to like compensate a lot for the things that Ken can throw out. But right now, if he's getting thrown around the stage, not much Sagat can do about that. Exactly, we were talking about that range, right? Otani tried to get some sort of trade combo, like he tried to get standing medium punch, but just way out of range. Bonchan taking advantage of the overhead so far off of that drive rush.
Way to see him go for that stand medium. A very short, stubby button. Bonchan with the advantage right now, harassing the stand medium. And as he backs off, crouching in the kick is also there to check and challenge just a little bit. Oh, he probably tried to go for a cross-cut BP. Unfortunately, got jumped in on. Now you're up in the corner. What's the defense like here for Bonchan? Look up, tap parry. Nothing to do it from Otani. The driver's throw. I'm just gonna throw will kill. Or that will, never mind.
Sagat needs more health. I said it. I'll say it again. I'll holler it on the rooftop.
I'm with you. I'll yodel with you, brother.
This is the range. Yeah, I was about to say. Funny enough, that didn't connect from further out. Very interesting. I thought that would easily go into Tiger Nexus.
Oh, yeah.
Quite surprised. Okay, parry against the Dragon Lash. Absolutely ready for it, too. The carry pretty good on Sagat.
Up the corner with all the bar to utilize right now. Backs up, finds the DP that time. Walks up for the meaty stand medium punch. Yeah, the head, Tiger uppercut to not need any other bar at the bottom. Well optimized for Bonchan. Keeps that in the pocket. Final round. Totep able to get that stand light kick right after. Counter it combo into level 3. Big start from Otani.
That's the start so far. see how much you could keep Bonchan contained into this corner. It's kind of like subtle with the fireball so far to kind of check the advance from Bonchan. He can be a little bit weary. He tried to do high step kick. We saw the startup of it. Otani firing right back with a low medium kick. That's going to be parried. No Tiger Raid. That's going to be a perfect. Otani off to a strong start against Bonchan. This is quite the surprise.
Okay, I see the adaptations. You know, we talked about like the throw loops being a thing to adjust, driver's throw to ensure that you get that grip. And then also the low right there, catch that forward heavy kick, maybe try to catch a jump back or a dash back, whatever it may be. Bonchan trying to call that out. The low was there to stop him. Otani also swinging back with a big leap to start off the round. Hits the heavy, the proper distance. You mentioned at the very tip, they try to play a button, gonna get got. Cross cut, crouch fierce, one cancel throw. Oh, he's into him right now. Delayed drive rush throw. Let's get what he wants. Bonchan able to get that three-piece off with a DP ender. Back to mid-screen.
Trying to close that gap real quick. Bonchan, although he has that range. Oh, you tried to use a what? A Tiger Knee way out of range and the OD? Otani with the neutral jump punish on the way down. This man is looking clean for the first time this season. Otani now at match point.
Knocking out of the park so far. Conversion, drive rush into nothing, waiting for a wake up. Let's get the step kick. I want to see a little bit more of that. Open up those toes a little bit. Worry about them lows, and then you get them with the overhead. Walk up, crouching to kick, immediate corner carry incoming, enhanced Tatsu. The confidence to run these buttons. Driver's throw, breaks that throw, but again, I like him using the green to ensure he gets that throw, or at least the idea of the throw off. Uh-oh. Or what's the pickup for the setup? It's a throw. Otani's defense in the corner. As soon as he gets there, I feel like he's been able to tech, defend, get a back throw. Oh yeah, not on me, brother. Don't touch my chain. You can't afford that. Ooh. The raw sweep. Sweet and punish though. Bonchan's gonna be able to take it back with the perfect parry.
I wonder if he's able to OS that jump back away from the throw. We'll talk about that later. Instead, level 3 time. Quick expenditure of that super gauge. We'll take that. Otani off to a fantastic start yet again.
Control when he's got the lead. Gets a go right kick. The throw. One more touch, man.
Ooh-wee! The startup of Sagat's Tiger Shot getting blown up again. Yo, Bonchan getting absolutely swept by the startup from Otani's kick. Can you believe it? That is wild. Actually knocking it out of the park. No pun intended. Otani, the strongest performance he's had all season. God damn, son.
That's what we wanted to see. Adjusting to the beta of Season 3. That's what you want to see. Drive rush throw if you have to ensure those throws come through. He understands how to fight the characters, obviously, in terms of like the DLC. You saw the bait right there with the crouch with the kick. You also saw him have that defense that we've known him for to be so good. In any character, in any sort of scenario, work out well. He didn't get tossed too many times in the corner. He was able to find side switches when he needed to. Reversal buttons and timing too as well. As soon as Bonchan tried to walk out, we saw the walk-up crouching medium kick, and then up at the corner, find the time to get the overhead switch, get the Jinrai, of course. And man, oh man, that unfortunate try to play a fireball, get interrupted. That was OD as well. Oh my God. I'd be tight. But you know what? You gotta give Otani some credit out here. 2-0 over Bonchan. Well adjusted to what he should be doing out here in Street Fighter League. And that's a dooming sign right there. Nagoya NTPOJA, that was really the only weakest link that they've had, or weak link in their entire toolkit. Now, he's that strong. Oh God. Imagine what happens at the playoffs.
I'm rather excited. I love this current evolution of Otani. Back-to-back W's against really important opponents and also really important teams. Right? He is going off of that momentum. He fought off against Fujimoto Sniper, against Victrix Gaming, and now against Bonchan Sagat. Kazunoko coming up next. Viper! Our third Viper of the night. Hopefully, he gets to break the curse, right? Hopefully, it's not 3 in a row in terms of like C Vipers falling short. This is a different side of C Viper that I do like and really enjoy seeing. I think Kazunoko has really got a firm understanding of like how to transform a character to really relate towards what's played in the meta. And this is the matchup I was actually quite curious about. We didn't get to see it between like Uryo and Moke as well. Like Uryo pretty much just got drowned out by Moke pretty single-handedly.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to see. Like, I wanted to see Kazunoko really try to play out this matchup against another Chun-Li player. So we get that opportunity again. Looking at the current stats between the two, Seiya being able to rock at least 30 points to his name, 2 Ws. On the other side, Kazunoko, he has 1 anchor victory under his belt. He's got 40 points total. Not too far between each other in regards to the current stats. So I'm liking that. Seiya also with a very important W from their last performance, if I'm not mistaken. The previous week was week 6 for them. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Getting the big Fenrich W.
Definitely what we expect to see from Seiya. I mean, like the Seiya that we see all over like Topanga League was different at the beginning Seiya at Street Fighter League, because I feel like Topanga League, he was very confirm heavy, he was very confident, you know, obviously so strong that that's the reason why he got picked up for League, amongst other reasons. But it took him a while to get ready for League, or get the, it felt like the nerves, you know, get back to the way that he usually likes to play, the confident sort of style. But on the other hand, for Kazunoko, I want to see how he gets aerial with it. I feel like Kazunoko is one of the best that gets aerial with the dive kicks. Years after years, we've seen him on like Cammy and things like that, even the Jamie. So I want to see how he incorporates the burn kicks in his game plan. He's able to operate or find the comfortability to get aerial to that point, or Seiya will even let him. But I'm with you. I want to see how this matchup goes down. I love learning like how these matchups are going with Viper at these high levels, and I'm hoping that we'll see another blowout. I want to see this go at least final game, final round. I want to see some back and forth instead of another cooking, another serving of Viper.
Yeah, man. My dietitian pretty much says you have to have at least 1 C Viper win a day. I'll tell you what, man. I don't want them to get cooked up to the point where they get burnt to a crisp. All jokes aside, I think this character has a lot of potential, man. Maybe I'm like, I got my rose tinted Street Fighter 4 glasses on, but I genuinely think she has the potential to be great, man. I think she's got a lot going on for her that's really unique to what she has to offer from her 4-play style into 6. So I'm genuinely hoping we could see a difference in Kazunoko C Viper in comparison to the rest that have tried her out so far today this week.
All it takes is for somebody to unlock the starting point, the blueprint of the character. We saw that with Elena, with Dogura. I'm almost going to say this, something crazy. I think Enzo's starting to unlock what to do with Sagat. We saw him over at TNS, how he's been winning over there, doing well against the US players. I want to see him obviously at a more grander scale. But just watching him play, he's starting to get better and better, more ideas on how to play the character. Not that Bon-Chan is doing horrible, but I'm starting to see more of the blueprint. And I'm thinking that C Viper might have that, but it's just who's going to access it first. And I definitely think you're right up there. Kazuka says, I think it's a good matchup for Viper. It's only 2 weeks since the release. I'll do my best for a win. Seiya says, I just do what I do. It's my time to get the win for the team. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I don't know how much practice Seiya would get against like other high-end C Vipers, because they're, to be honest, I don't know if there's like if there's a lot of them right now. I know she's quite the popular character, obviously, in Japan currently, but it's a difference maker when it comes to like playing against a seasoned veteran that's controlling this character, rather than like the ranked monsters that you find in Japan. And granted, there are a lot of ranked monsters out in Japan. Having to be able to experience that myself, I'm like, dude, you guys are nuts out here.
Let's see if he's ready. We're gonna deal with that for kick with the fireball, but here's Kazunoko getting the knockdown with the Oki. He was a turn. Jab right back.
We're already starting to see a different look, right? Kazunoko playing it a little bit slower. Does get the counter hit on that standing heavy punch. Quite the startup on that bad boy. 12 frames total, so it's kind of hard to even try to counter poke. Ooh,
What epic is everything. Yo, the Latif special, the button, the party starter. The drive brush, this time the ODDP, the bust out, but on the drive gauge.
Damn. Oh, you already know what that was. There was a little slight error on that super jump cancel. What a force down, actually. What a call out against the burn kick. Yo, Seiya did his homework.
Trying with the OD fireball, the jump over and misses the DP completely. Oh, threaten the needle through the gaps. Kazunoko gets aerial. First round to him. But not too far from Seiya. As you mentioned, he understands what the dude's got to practice the paper. Trevor's throw. Yeah, the jump back is there, though, from Kazunoko.
Yeah, the super jump out of there, too, to get himself out of the corner. Really smart usage of the meter, but the low medium kick still goes with the punish counter against them. Seiya's actually looking rather dry, and Kazunoko's trying to like tease that idea. Is like, maybe I could go for the burnout chip, but I want to see Seiya jump first. He did feint that Seismo a little bit earlier in between. Jump on the way in. Seiya kind of reluctant to try to anti-air it, right? Because of the change of trajectory he can implement with the brain kicks from Kazunoko.
Oh, little grab coming through. I like that play right there. Air legs. That forward heavy kick. And the one time Kazunoko tried to switch up with that, instead of going for like a button whip for the throw, the call was there from Seiya.
They're impressive so far from all the callouts that we've seen from Seiya. He do catch the neutral jump though from Kazunoko on the follow-up, but not able to enforce his will. Oki pretty much out of his hands now. Seiya slowly bringing Kazunoko to the corner.
You punish.
That must have been an attempt for a burn kick. It had to be, right? Oof.
Yeah.
Level 3 incoming. You already know it. Soten Ranka to finish it off. Seiya keeping up the momentum. Got Otani left behind, and another one on the board against the Sea Viper players.
Your dietitian is crying right now. But man, did Seiya do his homework. Catching the recovery of an attempted burn kick, being able to call things against the forward heavy kick drive rush when there's supposed to be a point of pressure with a button or a throw behind it. Seiya understands what Kazunoko wants to do in the matchup, and Kazunoko sticks with the Viper. Does not switch back to the Kami.
Oh. That managed to punish? Was that a punish against a low medium kick? That thing is pretty impressive.
Around with the fireballs. Ooh, trying to catch him coming in. Yeah. You see how he doesn't overextend too much? Now the clean walk up to get the counter conversion. Baits out the drive reversal, -6 punish incoming with the crouching medium punch. Deader than dead. Doesn't even need level 1 to get it done. Seiya, set point.
Pour one out for another Sea Viper player. I'll tell you what, guys, this is looking rather convincing from the side of Seiya. Everything from catching the burn kicks, also misleading Kazunoko within ranges to throw out low medium kick and punishing it accordingly. I don't want to curse it right now, obviously, but Seiya's looking rather good in this matchup.
Oh, now frame kill. The throw right after. Oh, air to air. The cancel right there off the crouch with the kick. Seiya taking his turn back, takes it straight with the stand fears. With Kazunoko better off, cross get DP. You put yourself in the corner, and Seiya has all that far at the bottom. Oh, don't let it be you. The overhead blocked out though. The shimmy, the walk underneath to get the punish counter on the recovery. Put this man in hospice. Pull the plug. You're dead. Sit him down with a So-10 extra damage from the CA. Seiya claims another life of a Sea Viper player. I'm so sorry, Vicious. I'm so sorry, man.
I hate it here. I hate it here. I'm upset. I'll be honest with you. A little bit of bias. Old heads in shambles right now, that is for sure. I am one of them. I am currently in shambles. You know who will save me? I think Shuto will save me. I think Shuto's Ryu needs to step up to the plate and possibly claim a possible tiebreaker scenario. But let's talk about Seiya for a second, right? He's understood the objective out the gate, right? Like, suppress Sea Viper with as much pressure as possible because she has a weak wake-up game, or a weak defensive game. Ensure that none of the mix-ups happen off of like normals into burn kicks by being able to interrupt. Seiya's got that down pat. Not falling susceptible to any sort of like seismos by keeping up like the distance to jump just in case and punish accordingly because it has a lot of recovery. Also on point. Seiya's been the complete package against this matchup right out the gate. As much as I hate to admit it because I'm a big Sea Viper fan, Seiya had Kazunoko locked down as soon as the match said fight, and I am rather impressed.
Kazunoko have to rethink that matchup. or maybe how to play it, honestly. We'll have to see, but either way, 20 points to go at NTPOJA over Crazy Raccoon. They were the ones that I think make them bleed last time. Let me make 100% sure. Yeah, it was Nagoya NTPOJA taking it over Crazy Raccoon last time 30-10. Now it might be even worse. Crazy Raccoon would probably at this point, I would expect, and I'm in agreement with you, that Shuto has to come up. Ryu new or not, I'm putting Shuto in the first of 3. If he's going to thrive somewhere, it's the first of 3 in terms of even him playing his character new, how his playstyle is. But KB, though, hasn't lost at all. I know you stress shoot, though.
Kind of rough. Yeah, that is kind of intimidating to go against. But we've seen like this match kind of evolve, right? We've seen like this matchup being played within the meta a pretty decent amount, luckily enough. I don't mind this pick. I think that's something we kind of lean towards. Look at that win record, son. 7 games, 7 weeks straight of bus ass. KB has been delivering it on a silver platter with 100 points to his name. Like, that's impressive. That is rather impressive, man.
I don't even care what character you could have. Oh, you're right. And the fact of the matter is, people might say, well, it's mine. No other my players are performing like this, even close to KB out here in Street Fighter League. It ain't the character. It's his study and him becoming an actual main of the character. You can see the intricacies of his play. Every time he plays, you see the matchup knowledge. We saw, again, that the last time that this team played, it was him and Bonchan. And Bonchan tried to wake up with level 1 with the projectile. He's like, cool, I have level 2. I'm going to do that on your wake up. Was that necessary? Probably could have blocked it out. But still, he's like, I'm going to hurt you and make it really count. Shuto, though, I will say for at least for his benefit, despite the fact that he was new with Ryu, I thought when he played Gachikun, when he came up with the character, he was going to get cooked, clapped, and served up on a platter. Unfortunately, he was the one that did the cooking against Gachikun. So even though the Ryu was kind of new, his playstyle, his obstinance, his I'm going to get in and having more health to play with and more damage in some cases actually works to his favor. And even on paper, having fast fireballs to fight the Phantom Eye, being able to convert off like a stand fierce against her stand fierce or stand medium punch. She does have some really good buttons, but then again, you have the donkey kick to switch things up, the Hashokekis to catch her lacking. It could also be bad for her if you're trying to take away her drive gauge with the Hashokekis and you burn her out. That means less OD fans to have to deal with. And even though it's a grazing statement to say, the less resources that she has, the way better. Obviously, that's such an easy thing to say, but Ryu is really good about taking resources away from people in terms of drive gauge, so there's benefit to playing this character. Do I think Akuma's better this matchup? Maybe a little bit in some aspects, but there's that aspect of burnout that could be very imperative, and Shuto could be able to access that. But KB, man, just seeing that score, dang, bro. It might be looking dark, I can't lie.
It's really difficult. I think, to your point, I think it's really important to force like mine into that burnout state rather quickly. I don't think KB is one to kind of put himself in that position unless he plays as aggressive as he did over in like CPT. I think it was the KB versus Akira matchup that we saw where he was rather aggressive and throwing out a lot of his meter down the drain. And I was like, I was pretty much losing my mind over it. I think CPT had actually clipped that moment. But if all else fails, I think him going back to like playing it sturdy and kind of like playing it patiently and not being overzealous with fans, which he hasn't been, to be fair, I think he'll be okay in this matchup. It really is up to Shuto to force the expenditure of resources.
That makes sense. That probably makes sense why we don't see Dogra, even though he was so good in the Fujimura matchup. You know, he was well to fight Fujimura with his Elena. I don't think you can run that same sort of game plan. I think the game plan of trying to kill the drive gauge, to kill the character, works out better here. Obviously not by KB's expenditure on his side of things, but Shuto will aim for that regardless. KB in his interview says, if we win here, we can foresee the second place for us. I couldn't read the order, but I knew Shuto would come to me, so I'll do my best for the 40 points. So it's kind of odd that they couldn't read the order in full, but they've been so dominant thus far. That shows the power of their players, their character selection, and them maining these characters too as well. Otani, maining Ken, keeping with that character despite people moving over to Terry and finding his way finally, today of all things, especially. Seiya, again, getting more informed with the Chun-Li out here in League, and now KB being a real my guy, understanding matchups to a absolute T. But it's going to be a big test for Shuto here. The last time in the Gachika matchup, I barely finished my training, but today I'm 100% sync with Ryu, and I'm worried if I'm really ready. I'm going to go check if I'm truly finished with the training. I hope you are, man. It's do or die time for your team to stay in the game, but you're going against the hammer of justice himself.
I'm looking rather dry. KB does have a pretty significant life lead, and already off to a great start of building at least 50% back. Shuto firing right back at him. Or so we thought. We do get that medium punch, excuse me. Not gonna punish.
DP for the bust out. Let's get some distance. Driver stand medium. Shuto's getting active. Bates with the ODDP. Fantastically done from Shuto to hold the brakes. Well, he's such an aggressive player. He usually doesn't pull the brakes even when there is a DP in sight. A little bit of difference with this Ryu. First round to him. Okay, the low, I was gonna say that poke was everything, but now towards the corner with the Tatsu.
Don't get the backdash call out against the throw. Pretty decent size punish against Shuto. Good call out against the fireball. KB opting to go for OD. Gets the fan, gets the conversion as well. Re-ups on the install and re-ups on that damage. He's looking mad clean that round.
Love the structuring. Level 1 immediately. Get the pressure going and flowing. Stand fierce. No conversion right after, no DRC. We'll find the anti right there, nice and close. OD. Yeah, waits for him to do something, either a DP or a DI like that. Drive gauge is gone. Objective complete. Finish the job. Immediate spot before you get that level 1 back. Before a reset, we're going for the damage here. Oh, it's Ryu.
No,
it's all
kill.
about dumping your damage. Oh, yeah, forget what I'm saying here. I forgot. This is protagonist damage.
Oh, I lied to you. He double dribbled. Actually didn't make it through. I think there was maybe another route he could have taken
I think so.
to possibly kill. I'm pretty sure he had another route to kill.
One more button or something in between that.
I think him going for like the roundhouse ender is what killed the roundhouse and the DP. Either way, he takes it. Shuto. Ooh, big sigh of relief. I think he added a little bit of extra, too much seasoning towards the end of that combo.
Too salty, but still works out for Shuto. Well done for him to get the, once again, the drive expenditure killing from the side when he was doing the Ashokekis and things like that and taking away that bar. I want to see what the adjustments are from KB because the pressure off the fans hasn't really been landing too much. We've seen the bust ups with the ODDP, and also we've seen him get baited, which is very rare. It's very rare for KB to get baited on defense, I feel. Whenever we watch him, I feel like his reversal buttons, his perfect parries, his DPs are usually on point enough that they don't get read, but Shuto so far doing a good job of dealing with the offense and the defense. Even the level 1 hasn't been super problematic. Like, he's gotten a conversion to kill, but not enough where it's become a threat where it's like, oh man, I'm up in the corner. What am I gonna do? It's over. I must put down the controller. Shuto doing a pretty good job of playing this Ryu so far. All right, but again, KB, he's been down some rounds before. It's happened. He's not been perfect. Doesn't mean he won't win.
Yeah, there's not a lot of players that have really like taken a W off of KB within like the set. I think most of like the matchups that he's had have been very convincing. Like I can't even look through the list to see how often he's been dominant. Like even last week, him facing off and Ryukichi in the mirror match, 3-0, right? Rather impressive. Him facing off against Udio, 2-1 against the Jamie, not bad. Before that, week 5, 3-1 against Nemo's Bison. This guy's been like mad unstoppable. It's been super convincing, like all the way through so far. Even like what is this? Against Sahara. Actually, Sahara, he went 2-1 down to the wire. Like you got like the big rookie. Pretty impressive. There's a lot here, man. There is so much to like really take in. KB dominated Bonchan the last time they met in week 3. And the list goes on. Dude, he 3-0'd Moke in week 2. 3-0.
Yeah, it's a Chun-Li. Ooh, and he beat Fenris too as well as JP. I haven't seen that character in a long time from him from that. But like, that does put the target on your back. When you're so dominant, you know the teams are even more hyper-focused on watching you. They already do so in League, but even more so, they're watching every tape that you give them, every iota, every bit. They're like, this guy's a problem. The same happened with Tagaki and, honestly, Finrich for the Blanca matchup. You saw Crazy Raccoon getting together, banding together to figure out how to fight the matchup. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that gives them that knowledge. It's like, okay, this person's going to be a threat. We're going to have to fight him sooner or later. We have to win. He's probably going to be in the anchor position, so even more so, we're going to have to deal with him as like a final boss type beat.
We'll see if that beat ever comes out. KB, although at the deficit, not out of the running just yet. Shuto trying to manage his way, at least suppressing with the fireballs initially. But man, did that cost him a decent amount of drive gauge. Oh my god, high blade kick and dome kick. I like that a lot. Perfect parry the first part of the fan, get the knockdown with the sweep as a punish counter. Doesn't mind getting hit with the second one.
Now, but his ODDP, the neutral jump to start off for the punish. Oh, my man is saying ever optimal. There's a fan to follow up, kills the drive gauge. Tatsu risking it all, trying to hit something with a fireball. But KB knew it was going to come through right after. It was all about that death. Man. All right, KB. Slowing it down, as you mentioned, pulling back when he needs to. Level 1, back on the menu.
Yeah, he's forced to take that mix too, off of the heavy punch, right? Like, you can't use option select DP, but you can just regular ODDP just to get out of there. No option selects needed, just bust out, right?
Tatsu nice and close, gets the back throw. Pushing positions, Shuto's got some room to give right now. Busts up the overhead. Gonna have the third time. DI 2-4 out. Immediate OD ban. You see the interaction right after? Immediate OD ban to stop you from pressing a button or doing anything at all. You are so damn smart, KB. Playing second in that way. Oh, game to game.
That was mad convincing too. KB is just so well studied against a lot of these matchups right now too. The way he's been playing Mai is so difficult to contest against. Huh, was that a delayed crouch jab from the side of Shuto? I can't believe that actually got blown up. The options like paid off for KB in that instance.
So DB holding parry, careful now of that drive gauge. Shuto's trying to delete it, but now you see him at mid-range. Doesn't matter, the Stampius connects. Slowly dog walking him towards the corner. Oh man, he did the he now. Whip a button, got something right after a whip. A donkey kick sees me into a button. The fake out. Calls out the parry. Oh, you are so nasty for that. See a cool player in him.
That was kind of sick, actually. Off to another great start. Shuto. Not trying to press buttons in between. It was a counter hit. KB slowly trying to gain his real estate back. Bring it back to mid-screen. The fans do the talking. DP passed it. A lot more of a trade-off in favor of Shuto. Navigating past the fans, hit again with the perfect parry. Drive rush on up, now applying that pressure. He committed to that low medium kick. He assumed KB was going to be within position. No, the jump out was there. Speaking of which, low forward yet again! Let it hurt. No, he didn't get to continue on to level 3. But it's fine. Shuto again with a slight miscalculation and still managing to save the game with the throw in back-to-back games.
The gods of gaming are conspiring against KB right now. Well, honestly, Shuto played this really well. I like the way that he switched up his pressure and his buttons, like special move into button right after. He now special we talked about. We think you can play second. You're playing third still. And walking him down continuously with the stand light kick. We've also seen that as a drive rush check. Trying to go for the cross cut DP. It looked like it crossed up instead. DP immediately against the back heavy kick where the pressure can get started. Now the OD from KB.
Conversion off of the standing medium kick. Excellent conversion. KB now making it hurt even more so while in this installed stage. I think his conversions off of fans have been like the best out of all the other Mai's this season in Division S.
Oh, 100%. By far. Just rely upon the fan though. The jumping is there. Shuto. Aware of the timing to get the jump in. OD. Backs up for the proper spacing, but there's a heavy kick now. We're seeing something different at that range. So trying to play stand medium.
I like that. Using the fireballs to reset the timing against the fans, right? Just nullifying both of them and also trying to gain a little bit of breathing room and also close the gap little by little against Mai. The fans proving not to be a threat unless an OD version. It pushes Shuto back just a little bit.
Trade the low, not going to DRC. And we close the burnout, gets a sweep as well, reversal jabs. That second option did burn him out after the crouching medium punch, so the DP to level 2. Doesn't really need it, forget it. He's got to get firms to find the finish. Even things out with KP and more OD fans. I know that sounds so grazing and such like a mind thing to do, but it's the timing and the spacing that he's playing on these OD fans so that Shuto can't play a donkey kick, a forward fierce, or a Hashogeki. He can throw out an OD fireball, but he's not trying to spin bar like that. KB is calculating this perfectly outside that mid-range to be able to initiate. Round start DI, I get it because he's been throwing out fireballs, but my man's blocking that.
Down to the final game between the two. Shuto getting the first bit of momentum on his side, and also KB trying to get out of the corner. No good versions off from this side of Shuto. Couldn't keep him contained. KB now coming back, punish counter against the fireball call out. We get the install immediately from KB. Good awareness. Also still being able to catch the jump. Recovered just in time. Counter hit. Full conversion. The safe jump. There's a parry involved. How do you do this every time? KB, 3 lights, catching the counter hit against Shuto. Look at that match point. Can they come up with a clean sweep for Nagoya NTPOJA? Can they score to 40?
Against Crazy Raccoon, not only winning again, but even bigger deficit than last time. Back though, switch it up a little bit. Normal fan parry, but able to gain too much ground here. Yeah, again, back hip of that mid-range. Trying to keep it nice and solid with the fireballs. Tip of the flame spin, OD now expended. Goes to low, take it towards the corner with the Oki. Back rise, OD DP. Shuto gets some distance. Walk up with the minus range for the throw.
Kind of shaky. Shuto already getting his drive gauge back. Not going to go for any sort of drive rush conversion just yet until he's comfortable with the amount of gauge that he has. KB fully aware of that, by the way. Off he goes to the races. A plethora of different normals and different looks from Shuto. No conversion yet again.
That's critical right there. Way more significant. Might be to demise. Try brush, fan throw. Now the OD coming through. Close that burnout state. Perfect parry and the punish right after. Even with the scaling, I do believe this should kill. KB should be able to keep his streak. We're watching intently. Is it over? It's over. KB keeps his streak and continues to be undefeated in Street Fighter League. 40 points over Crazy Raccoon. Defeated him yet again. And a 40-baller is their win. KB, man's about that business. Damn.
This guy's got to be MVP, dude. Like, I don't give a damn what anybody says.
Free.
Like, division MVP, it has to go to KB at this point. 8 weeks in, undefeated. Eat your heart out. Any other character, any other player, he is the man. He is easily the god of Division S. I don't give a damn of who you're a fan of. You better pay your respects to Banbaban. KB with 110 points by himself. I think 110. Either that or 120. But man, what a rebuttal. And also shout outs to Shuto. I think there was dude, there were so many slight mishaps in terms of actual conversions, right? So much damage left on the table and so many moments of opportunities going by the wayside. That's just rough to see too. And KB's understanding of the fireball game is so strong, man.
I'm so glad that you highlighted that because that was like the tide turner. Back up to mid-range. Don't try to interact with like him whipping, donkey kick, and a crouching medium punch. Just wait a little bit. And if you want to interact, throw out fan, OD fan as a reversal, as a rebuttal. Then we saw like the 3-piece in the OD fan when Shuto was like, oh, it's over. It's 3 lights. I'm going to try to go for like a throw or something, any sort of defensive tactic. No, bam, OD fan. That sounds so grazing, but knowing when to use your resources, your zoning, your fireballs, and the proper timing and spacing to disrupt their rhythm, to get your damage off, to initiate on your side of things. And there were moments he was close to burnout that he could have died. If Shuto was able to interact or avoid the OD fan, that would have been detrimental to Mai. That would have been the objective that we were looking for Ryu. Did not happen because KB has everything in terms of the stats all lined out. This man is so damn sick. I don't even care if you don't like Mai. This guy is just a real Mai guy, like a real Mai player through and through in terms of like the footsies. It's some of the best fireball pressure I've ever seen with this character. Best ideation. I love the way he plays. Mai or not, this guy is godlike.
ギリギリで、
はい。
僕延長戦控え
I gotta see
て、
his
ドグラさんの
points.
エレナ、
I gotta see this guy's
エレナ
points
戦
again.
の時やってたんですけど、
I'm gonna look it up. I really have to see this because this is
お腹
like
痛かったんですけど、みんなが
this
本
has
当に
gotta
助
be
けてくれ
like
て、
history in the
嬉しい
making.
です。本
I
当に
feel like.
皆さん感謝しかありません。ありがとうございます。
I don't think there's been any other player that has shown up this hard in the history of Street Fighter League for 8 weeks straight undefeated. Like,
Wow.
I am floored. This is everybody tuning into chat right now. You guys are witnessing like a new type of legacy in Street Fighter League. You guys are all a part of this, by the way. Seeing seeing KB excel the way he's excelled this season in comparison to previous ones is something I can't even like truly fathom just yet. This is insane.
Like, to be so strong as a captain, as a player that people were focusing on, have been since his generational run, the beginning of it, to be so consistent against every player that you fought from all the different teams in your division, that takes a lot of skill. I feel like League puts so much more pressure on you than singles in so many different ways. And then the fact that people can really hyper-focus on you as a matchup, like, okay, I had to fight this guy today, so I'm going to get ready for him. And still win and never lose. KB, bro, like, and not even in the previous seasons, it wasn't like he was like free every single time he came up. Like, he was good, but he wasn't this. I don't think any player has been this. If I'm not mistaken, I'm with you. I don't think any player's had this dominance thus far the entire season, much less Street Fighter 6. At the very least, not Street Fighter 6. This is crazy.
This guy's wild. Like, his win rate, in considering like all of the games in between, on the home side, 82%. On the away side, 89%. That is unheard of. This guy, I think he now has 120 points by himself. That's more points than a whole team. He's got more points by himself than a whole team. That's crazy. That's within Division S, son. Like, if you're looking at Division F and their points, this guy eclipses so many of the teams in like Division F. Actually, just 2 of them, Varel and Ibushige, respectively.
But still, a whole team is insane.
That's insane. That's insane.
One-man army. Get to the interviews, though. Mochi says the team was too strong. I have nothing to say, but KB's game was so close. I was getting ready for the extra game, but I was so nervous. Was it? Otani says, I wasn't expecting to win. Had a good training against Sagat, good practice with Ken as well. I guess I'm starting to sync with Ken. As we mentioned, we're glad to see that. Thank you, Aru, because Aru's cheering for him, apparently. Says that I had nothing ready for Viper at all. Now that it's all over, I'll say this. But coincidentally, I watched versus Viper CFA just before the match. The team won. What a great win. You're telling me you didn't practice against the character you still won?
Yeah, I think he mentioned that in his pregame interview. He's like, I'm just going to play the way I play. I think that was like the big signifier that's like, okay, I may not understand the matchup too well, but I think that's dude, I almost said something else. I think he's just straight up lying. He looked pretty damn well versed against Kazunoko C Viper.
Way too informed. For you to like walk under and punish things like so intrinsically, there's no way you're just doing that on the fly. You're like, oh yeah, I'll walk underneath instead of going for a DP here. That's something you're doing in the lab, or you're practicing against that character continuously. There's no way you're just, it's in your DNA just to do, no matter what character it is. You have to have that ready, especially in League. All right, Saya, we'll talk later, bro. KB says, though, I know Shuto's moves are really good after the first game, so I wanted Shuto to calm down, so I used the timeout to cool him down. Ooh, outside influence right there. Go to the timeout just to cool him down. He's getting a little too hot. Also, think the OD fans also cooled him off, so it was hard for him to play at some ranges that he'd like to. But KB definitely was good to notice that Shuto was like already well informed with the Ryu, more than most people probably think that he would be. Because I honestly thought when Shuto put with the Ryu last time that it wouldn't be that good. I mean, only having a few weeks in that character is kind of hard. But Shuto's a pretty damn talented player. KB noticed that, respected that, and cleaned it up there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, world-class player with Shuto, for sure. But nothing compares to KB the way he's been playing right now. His understanding of like my currently, like it's one thing to pick a character that's rather strong in the meta. It's another thing to really excel this far for 8 weeks straight. Like we can talk about like how good Mai is all day, and that's free. I think that's I agree with everybody in the chat. I think Mai is a very strong character. I think she's like top of the charts when it comes to the meta.
Right.
But none of the other Mai players have found the success that KB has this season. And that's also free. Like the stats definitely do not lie. There are 4 other potential Mais in Division S, and KB is like making them bite the dust. This guy is way ahead of the race in comparison. It's so wild. It's actually so wild and impressive to see. Really impressed with KB. There's nothing more I can really say other than this win was well deserved. Otani picking up the pace, 2-0, really impressed. Seiya with the same exact speed. I love that. 2-0 against Kazunoko, and KB using that outside influence, using that timeout to kind of ice Shuto. Really, really smart, man.
Like seeing that. So, hopefully I sound okay. Nagoya NTPOJA is confirmed for the playoffs, it looks like, according to production.
Yeah, I don't think that's anywhere in question. Yeah, these guys are, they could lose the rest of their weeks. They only have 2 weeks left. They could just, you know, sit back and chill if need be. But they are absolutely guaranteed into the playoffs. Now, I'm going to be stepping up a little bit ahead in regards to like the scheduling. This was the marquee matchup after all, but to kind of like put it in perspective, right? Nagoya NTPOJA has to face off against Good 8 Squad, as they had mentioned in the post-game interview. That's going to be a rather big challenge and also a good testament towards like what they need to work towards in the playoffs, because those are the top 2 teams in contention. In the final week, though, Oja has to face off against Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. Right? So, all things considered, they don't have to worry. I don't think they have to worry. The only main objective is maintaining the first place spot. But after today's results, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be too difficult for them, man. Wild. Good 8 Squad getting the W over Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto 30-10. CAG Osaka over Victrix Favu Gaming. Or sorry, CAG Osaka falling short to Victrix Favu Gaming. Then we put respect on it, 20-30. And then, of course, you saw the beatdown and the clutch factor from Nagoya NTPOJA versus Crazy Raccoon. 40-0, 230 points, still maintaining the lead over Good 8 Squad. Can you believe it? Crazy Raccoon following third with 180 points. Down below, Victrix with 140, Saishunkan with 130, and CAG also following suit tied for that 5th place position. This is a wild turnout, but also such a crazy amount of points in between. Like, there's still 2 more weeks of regulation play, and with Crazy Raccoon scoring 0 points this week, that 3rd place position can be overtaken by any of the other teams down below. That is a scary thought to process, as there's only 2 weeks left in regulation season for Division S. Taking a look at the rise and fall currently, Crazy Raccoon trying to maintain the positioning after week number 5, kind of steadily keeping their pace up, at least in 3rd place. But you see the changes between Nagoya and NTPOJA from that 3rd week processing up until this week. Absolutely wild. Looking at the next matchups, though, for Division F, that's going to be happening on the 11th next week. It's going to be Reject going up against Team Varel. Zeta going up against Detonation Focus Me, and then Hiroshima Team Ikuza versus Fukushima Ibushigen. That's going to be hella sick to watch. Currently with Reject, Ikuza, Zeta Division, respectively in 1st and 3rd. You could see a change-up. Then, the following matchup for Division S, bringing it back. Next week, Friday on the 14th, Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto versus CAG Osaka. Nagoya NTPOJA versus Good 8 Squad. Then to round it out, Victrix Favu Gaming versus Crazy Raccoon. That could be the matchup that could switch up gears for the current standings of Division S. Hopefully we got Senkola back, but he's been kind of floored, and I understand. But that's what the matchup's going to be like going into week number 9 for Division S and week number 8 for Division F. Again, we still got 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks of regulation play to go for the F side, whether we have actually... Other than that, we also have, like, again, 2 more weeks left from the S side of things. And looking at the current plans, I feel like, for the Capcom Pro Tour in regards to World Warrior, we still have Japan going through another week of gaming. It should be happening this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But we will definitely be checking that out sooner rather than later. But please, 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 do mark your calendars for both the 11th and 14th, Tuesday and Friday, as we get closer to finding out who makes it into the playoffs. These are such pivotal weeks that these guys need to go through in order to clutch it out. And I'll tell you what, man, this has been rather unpredictable. Who would have thought CAG Osaka would have been able to fall short to Victrix Favu Gaming in that regard? And then even more so, the big surprise between Nagoya NTPOJA versus Crazy Raccoon getting a 40 bomber. I am so impressed so far. And I'm also impressed that Senkola's been holding his breath in this pose. As you can see on the bottom left, my man is big chillin'. He's just glaring into my eyes so willingly. You know, he's just looking at me talk the whole time. And that's okay. We do have the rest of our schedule coming up. Man, okay, so week number 4 for World Warrior happening at the end of November. Really excited about that one. I'll tell you what. More excited about seeing all of the weeks lined up for November, right? Although we're not having all the CPT stuff happening anymore, we still have a lot more to look forward towards in the realm of World Warriors, in the realm of Street Fighter League US and Street Fighter League EU. This is going to be wild, right? We talk about the floodgates happening for World Warrior for Japan. The floodgates are definitely going to be opening up for Street Fighter League US and EU, as they are both going to be live going forward. Street Fighter League US being able to keep up with the ever-evolving meta. That's going to be happening real soon. I do believe next week we're going to have the first phase, the first 3 days of Street Fighter League US, which is going to be talked about in just a bit. But in the meantime, if you guys haven't done so already, we have the tickets now available, if I'm not mistaken, for Capcom Cup 12. I do believe this is the pricing arrangement for all of the dates in regards to the different classes. And I will say this. The seating arrangements for Capcom Cup 12, absolutely bonkers, by the way. If you actually get like the premium packaging, you get to sit on the floor, like at least on the base floor, right in front of the big screen, right in front of where the players play and come out of. It's actually super sick. And if you guys have never gone, I will say plan responsibly with your finances. I think it's absolutely worth going to, in my opinion, if you're a Street Fighter fan. But overall, like, you just got to experience it in general. Like, you have to be there for Capcom Cup as well. In the meantime, you guys get a glimpse of what's going to be happening in regards to getting closer to that regional final with the Capcom Pro Tour World Warrior for Japan week number 4. This is going to be so wild. I'm actually kind of curious to see what the entrants are so far. I think from what it looks like, there's still a couple days left to enter and sign up on Start GG, so I'm not too sure who has signed up thus far, but I am rather excited to see it go all the way past like the most recent amount of players. I think it's been over 1,000 every single time, which is pretty much a major at that point. Seeing it turn out that way is so impressive, and I'm actually kind of excited to see it. Like, I've been losing sleep over it, and that's totally fine because like the matches have been mad exciting, but that's just how it goes, honestly. In the meantime, we get our 2 beautiful commentators as always, Aru and Hameko, with special guest Yas coming through for the public viewing. And if you guys have seen it too, like if you guys ever tune into like the World Warriors in Japan, you see how packed it gets with like the in-house commentary, with the live crowd, also watching on the big screen. I would love to attend one of these someday. Hopefully I get to do so, maybe in December. But in the meantime, again, if you guys haven't done so already, you guys cannot afford to miss this World Warrior. It's so sick. And also, worth losing your sleep over. I'll tell you what. But in the meantime, it's been rather fun to see the evolution week after week for Division S, and not even just like week after week, season per season, right? We're seeing a lot of players come in and really evolve and find much more success this time around. I think Bonbabon, definitely one of those players to kind of attribute to that. And also, if I were to really pick an MVP, I've said it before, it has to be KB. 8 weeks straight. I am absolutely impressed. But either way, you guys have been tuning every single week, and we appreciate y'all. That's our time. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you for the next one. Welcome back, St. Cola, and good night, everybody, or good morning. We'll see you next time.
選手の音声入り本日のハイライト動画を流しますので、こちらも合わせてお楽しみに。それではディビジョン F 第8節でお会いいたしましょう。さよなら。
さよなら。
先鋒戦、両チームともに負けられないポイントが欲しい状況。川の動き、対するは小佐流。いってみましょう。
お願いします。2ゲージあれば守れると踏んでいる。
これはめくりが通っている。小佐見逃さない。
助かりました。
これはかなり減ってるぞ。
衛星ゲージもたまった。
走り切った。
おい。
かなり減ってるぞ。
あ、よかったよかった。
きた。続き。
リーバー。
ガードできず。
決死の一発。
プレッシャーかかってる。上から大逆転。
きたー。
中足を打っている。トゥゲラが見せた最後の逆卓。
オッケー。
うまい。ナイス。ナイスナイスナイス。
そうですね。止まらない。横から来た。作れるか。
リーバー、いや的確適切。
冷たく突き放す。
おお。
インパクトに来た。
ゲージもたまる。
さあしっかりとサイコストームまで。
うわ、ごめん。ごめん。しゃーなしー。惜しかった。惜しかった。
やったよ、みんな。
さあ倒しきりには至らずだが、リュウキチどうする。バカチうまい。かなり激しくなっている。パリシールフェニッチのお仕置きの時間が始まる。バックステップローリングから SA が許しちゃう。
お前よく頑張りすぎるだろ。読み合い強すぎるだろ。
やったー。
読み合い強すぎるだろ。なんだよ。読み合い。
ここはうまい。守りに対してオーディバニーから得た。うわー、ここはめくりバニー。画面端オーディからめくってそこで打ってくる。得た。うわー、これは
おっしゃー。めちゃくちゃうまかった。めっちゃうまかった。素晴らしい。やっててよかったよ。オッケー。オッケーベイベー。
どうする。うまくオーディスクラッチ。ここで逆卓で人形が来たからの画面端打ってきた。
これバートですね。
さあ素直なインパクトには押し置きして、うお差し返しを狙っていたが置いたんだ。さあからの追撃勝負投げ圏内投げた。
よし。おい、ナイス。
さすが。しゃべし今の。いや仕方ないよマジで。仕方ないよね。
入れ替わる。
歩いたら出ちゃったっていう。
踏んでからのセイスモノはどうする。ウリョには逃げし着地取れないがどうする。取れないが。
うわー。しゃあない。ごめん。しゃあない。
仕方ないです今のは。
惜しかったわ。
惜しかったです。
いや。
ナイス。ナイス。
オーディヤマからの発生が8なんで、確定しないのはいいポイントでしょう。
なるほど。いやここはボンちゃん早めに勝負にいったが大谷から中段当たっている。つながっている。さあもう危ないぞ。最後に投げてまだ足りない。どうする。まだ足りない。
オッケー。いや強い。
集中。さあ打撃重ねが多い。そして画面端が絡んでそう 点ランカー追撃する。キューチャー使いたくない状況。上着地取っている。これはもう走り切ればというところ。装填ランカークリティカルアーツ。これはもう一ゲージ使っている。シュート、出てないか。出ないですね。みんな根元じゃないんで。根元じゃないので出ない。さあ3ゲージあるが、ケビーどうする。オーディ課長つないでケビーが前に出る。補正はあるが、さあどうだ。演武赤桜踊り狂って
祈る KB
シュート撃破。
いやーうまい。いやうまい。
すいません。
狂って
おいマジでかいなこれ。うわマジでこの40はでっかすぎる。これマジできった。